And hello to everyone. Hello to everyone. How's everyone going today? Boom. We are in Wednesday, December 11th. Wednesday, December 11th. And I'm not feeling great at all, but welcome to everyone. And let me say hello to everyone here. And then we'll get into it. Okay. Is what it is. Welcome, everyone. Okay. Super hello to Mr. Don McKenzie. How are you? Welcome in. All right. And Bonnie. What's up, Bonnie? 5 Green Acres. And what's up, sweet dude Shibby? Asha Harry? Who's your daddy? Kate, you? Welcome to you. And Mark Ellis. What's up, Mark? Okay, Tracy Fleetwood. Welcome, Tracy. Right, and Chris O's. Hello, Chris. How are you? Sarah. Okay, Sarah. Who's your daddy? And Niobe. What's up, Niobe? All right, Corner Piece. What up? Corner Piece. You're not a dime piece. Come on, man. Heavy Metal Rehab. What's up, Heavy Metal Rehab? What's up, Christine? What's up, Bonnie Gilbert? All right, Marianne. How are you? What's up? Say what? Moonbeam 70s Child. What's up? Cole Hart. Harton. What? Can I speak tonight? Guess not. Okay, Amy. What's up? What's up, Amy? And Regina Grady Bolden. How are you? Okay. Digital. What's up, Digital? Jordan. Okay. What's up, Tinkerbell? What's up, Housebroken? What's up, Deborah? And Digital. I said hi, Digital. Okay. And Dawn Steele. Shay Watson. What's up? Okay. Oh, hey, Christina. What's up, Christina? Trial Junkie. Renee O. You guys are awesome here. You guys are awesome. All right. Who else in here? Kay is in here. What's up, Kay? What's up, Harley Ryder? All right. So everyone in here, hello to you. And those of you in the see if I can do something here. All right, in the little small channel, I'm saying hello to you too. Trying to catch up with you guys here. All right. So what's up, everybody? Wow. Wednesday, December 11th. Is everybody feeling the weight of this lull period between verdict and sentencing with Richard Allen? I know I am. It's just feeling like it's crickets. It's dead. What's up, Deborah? It's definitely a lull. I'm feeling the lull. I'm not too excited, and my shoulder hurts, etc. So I'm trying to deal with it. But glad everyone is here, and we're going to go through some old information for the most part. But this old information is good information. So remember, it's my contention that the truth about the Delphi murders surfaced in the days after the Delphi murders. So I don't believe that going over old information is necessarily bad, because I believe that the real information has been out open source for years, and people have just failed to really see it. So we're going to look at some things tonight. I'm calling it other actors. Okay, and you'll see why I'm doing that. Um, but yeah, I'm feeling this lull period. But I guarantee you, around the holidays, as we approach Christmas Eve and Christmas and New Year's, things will speed up. They'll open up a bit. So now is the time where we just be thorough, and we keep on trucking. So let's see. Wow, there's so much tonight. Okay, so much to present. I don't even know how I'm going to get through it. Let me try to get some things for you. Hmm.
In the American criminal justice system, a defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in the court of law.
This is insane. This is major. Here.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like a lot to take in. Listen, if they come get you and take you to a different jail or something, will you write my number down? Because it'll take me a while to figure out, like, what their account, like, how to get, everyone's got a different home wave, you know? Listen.
I mean, I don't see him coming to get me anytime soon, but...
Well, if they charge you with the Delphi murders, don't they have to, like...
Yeah, there ain't no fucking way they're going to charge me that shit. I didn't fucking do it.
I'm not saying you did it, Garrett, but I'm saying it seems like they're going to charge you with it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
What would be her motive to try and connect you in Delphi?
Because she's trying to make it look like I did that to get out of the shit here. No, I didn't. I'm getting fucking pissed off even fucking talking about it.
I understand, but being pissed about it isn't going to take away the fact that it's there. It's there. You know what I'm saying? It's not in our control, yours or mine. And that's good that you know you didn't do it, Garrett, because that's all that matters. They would have to prove you did it beyond a reasonable doubt. And if you didn't do it, they can't. But that doesn't mean that this isn't a problem for you. This is why I'm saying you need
I'm not saying it's not a problem, but at the same time, you need to tell that bitch to take a fucking polygraph because she's lying. I know she's lying.
I don't. Do you think that she's under the impression if she can pin the blame of Libby and Abby's murder on you, that she won't be sentenced longer in Nicole's murder?
That exactly.
Do you think that's even
I know
sense, though? Does it make
Ashley's
sense?
a fucking evil, sadistic, fucking lying piece of shit. Yes, it makes sense.
Can you please tell me again, what did she tell you that she heard or that she had saw videos of the crime?
She told me that Sheena Cottrell and Nick Edwards had fucking videotapes of the shit and that she heard them talking about it. And then when I asked her about it, she's like, well, I don't know nothing.
And were you like, why did you just say that then?
Yeah. And then she shut it down, wouldn't fucking talk about it.
What's the reason? How does she know this Nick person?
Huh?
How does she know this? Who is this Nick person, and how did she claim to know him? Is this a friend or?
He used to live with her.
Okay. Oh. Wait a minute. So she's saying that she knew he did it and that he even had tapes of it?
She never said that he knew he did it. She said she knew that Sheena Cottrell and Nick Edwards were talking about who did it. That's what I said.
Okay. I want to stop it there. I want to stop it there and say, Nick Edwards and Sheena Cottrell were talking about who did it and had a tape or photographs. Okay, that's why I chose this segment here. So let's keep listening.
Oh, wait, I'm confused. Oh, her and Nick were talking about who did it.
Yeah.
Who? And she said that she saw video, or that someone claimed to have video of it?
Someone claimed to have video of it.
What did she say that happened in the video? What did she
I don't know. I didn't fucking ask.
I think before you and her were dating, I think you had a completely different girlfriend. Because last night I looked up on.
Yeah, I wasn't even dating Ashley back then. I
know,
told you that already. I was engaged.
But because she was in love with you, probably still is, and your guys' history, I'm trying to pick your brain because you might not even realize that you have pieces to the puzzle. Maybe she did have something to do with it. Do you think maybe Nick was like a brother to her, and maybe she asked him to get revenge? Who is Nick?
I know she used to Nick, and then Nick went to California and went to rehab and got clean and shit. I know that. I haven't talked to Nick in years. Last time I talked to him was when I lived with Ashley on Burrow Street because he lived there with her.
Were they just good friends? Obviously they slept together, but was it like a friendship? Were they same in age?
No, it was more like he used to feed her dope and she used to.
Does he look anything like the sketches?
I mean, no, not really, because he has a bald head.
Where does Nick live now? When's the last time she probably saw him?
I think he lives in California. I'm not sure. I think she saw him right before she went to Florida to go to rehab. I know that.
What year was that?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth.
So she wouldn't still be trying to cover for him. He's not still local, or you know what it right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, last time I knew he was living in California. I don't know. Just like when I caught that domestic battery and strangulation that you see in Carroll County. That chick beat the hell out of me, and I fucking defended myself. And now I'm the fucking bad guy? Because if she was scared of me, she wouldn't have been fucking... She was constantly trying to get her. I have fucking messages from my discovery in here that when I was with Nicole, before Nicole's death, she was texting me telling me, you better fucking come see me, or I'm going to keep... You're never going to see Chevy again, and all that shit. No, that's not true. Not true whatsoever. She's not scared of me. If she was scared of me, why the fuck would she be trying to talk to me all the time?
Garrett, right now, I don't know my opinion on it because there's just so much new information. I can't organize my thoughts. But you're a singer? You sing?
This is so hilarious to me. So he goes off on this tangent about beating Ashley, which has nothing to do with the conversation. She's so good at the questions she's asking and what she's asking for clarity on, etc. And then for some reason, in the midst of this tangent about beating Ashley, she says, "Are you sing? Are you a good singer? You're awesome." She comes on with the stroking him. It's like, what the hell, man? I'm sorry. I had to.
Yeah.
You are a very good singer, Garrett. Like, very good. And I heard you rap at like 2 a.m. I feel like she came into your life and your life went to shit fast.
That woman ruined my fucking life. And if nobody else can see that, then I feel sorry for her. When she turned herself in Tippecanoe County to try to make herself look innocent, and it backfired majorly on her.
In Tippecanoe County in Bowen's murder?
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if I could read my discovery to you, I'd show you. Vince Lowe and Mike Rowe asked her, at the time of Nicole's murder, were you scared that you would be killed next if you didn't participate? She said no. They asked her if she was scared of me. She said no.
So, and didn't she help you kill her?
I mean, I can tell you right now that she participated more than I did. It was her idea.
So she couldn't stand that another woman was interested in you?
And she was jealous because Ashley, let me tell you this, Ashley used to go and sleep with dudes for drugs. I'd grab her phone, she'd be talking to everybody else, and like, she'd be like, oh, come get me high and fuck me and shit like that, and I'd get mad. And she's like, and I was like, all right, when the shoe's on the other foot, you're not going to like that shit. Well, the shoes was on the other foot, and I had a girl that was a lot better looking than she did, and she didn't like that.
I doubt it, because Nicole was beautiful.
Yeah, she was beautiful. She was amazing.
That's why I
love that girl to death.
Because weren't you like giving all your attention? Because online, I mean, I can see that. I looked at everything last night, and I can.
Oh yeah, I was with her every day.
Very public, yeah. So it was. You were almost trying to get Ashley annoyed. Obviously not because you wanted to.
Well, no, I wasn't trying to get Ashley annoyed. Honestly, the reason I started spending so much time with Nicole is because I was trying to forget about Ashley.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is what happened. Ashley knew the truth about what I told you about Ray. And when I was with Nicole and Russell. And Ashley messaged my buddy Russell and messaged Nicole's Facebook and said, you better tell him to get his asshole back over to my house or I'm calling the fucking cops on me. My exact words were, do whatever you got to do. And I hung the phone up and I didn't talk to her. And she didn't fucking, and here's my fucking, when Ashley was in here, and then all of a sudden that she's out and the heat's on her, she's trying to point the finger at me and Delphi. Why wasn't she trying to do that shit when she was in here, is my question.
Yeah, or why wasn't she doing that as soon as she found out, if she thought that was you? If you told her this years ago, why the hell did she come forward years ago?
Well, I can tell you right now, I can tell her nothing, which I'm sure you can already gather that. But, I mean, like I said, I have no reason to lie. And if she goes and takes a polygraph, and that will, I mean, I know it's not admissible in court, but she'll be able to tell right now she's fucking lying. Well, my biggest issue about all this is Ashley claiming all these things. If this was even remotely true, I wouldn't have even went and took a polygraph in the first place.
Right. And
I wouldn't have talked to the detectives, even when my lawyer told me not to. I still talked to them.
There's a message that was found there was messages that Nicole was trying to reach out and tell her sister what happened, and I'm assuming with Ray. You're saying that Ashley was like, we got to get rid of her. Like, that's how she was jealous, but she made it seem like she was going to ruin your life. And so all these things, in the heat of the moment, it happened because
among another person.
No. See, you hear the hesitation there. This is the BS story. Okay, guys, this is the BS story. This is where they had the first cover story they had it was about jealousy and it's Ashley's fault. Okay, that's the first cover story. It's Ashley's fault because she was jealous, and it's two girls fighting over Mr. Garrett, and so Ashley's jealous, so we kill her. That's the BS story. Okay, but you can hear it in his voice. He's trying to think up what to say in response to that. So just understand that we now know that this was the BS story. So let's continue.
Okay.
Huh?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said among another person. There was another person involved too that said that made an executive decision that she had to go to.
Why is that person so anonymous when you're not? You're being trampled all over the fucking planet right now.
I mean, I've done said, but I mean, I can tell you this much. It's rumored through the grapevine that the person I'm talking about was one of the people involved in Delphi, and I'm not going to implicate that person.
Oh, Chris Mathis?
My family members killed, if that makes sense.
Really? Chris Mathis?
Wait a minute. Are you? Yeah, but that makes sense. But that scares me, Garrett.
Oh, Chris Mathis is involved in Delphi. I see.
Okay, don't tell me who he is. I just want to know, why is he so scary? What's so scary about him? Why are you scared?
Connections he's got. I mean, because he actually used to fuck him. That's why. And like I said, I mean,
listen, Garrett, this is.
I
don't even know why. I don't even know why I just told you that, but
she forgot to. She forgot to mute that out. Sorry for the words. She forgot to mute that out. But let's continue. We got a lot to get through tonight. So.
Well, okay. Listen. Think about it. Why would you keep that a secret right now? Why would you keep somebody else's name? That's crazy. In my opinion, I'm not telling you what to do, but you need to not do that. That's crazy. I'm just going to tell you straight up. That makes zero sense if you're looking out for your best interest.
Well, I'll use it for ammo, I guess.
She's good at what she's doing. She's pretty good.
Maybe, do you think this person could be that person? Because if that's the case, you need to say something, Garrett. I'm sorry, but you need to realize that.
I understand that but what they can prove and what everybody says are two different things, Sarah.
No, I know, but if you do have some knowledge, and this person obviously has some connections, and somebody else is going to get hurt. So maybe
you're right about that.
About whoever that is.
Somebody else is going to get hurt.
You should not be protecting anyone, Garrett. You have nothing to gain by doing that. Nothing. This is so fucked up.
Immediate, boom, hands on. As soon as it happens, wham.
He loses it. He can't.
Yes.
Now, this is going to be the guy he was just referring to, in my opinion. In my opinion, he was referring to Mr. Mathis here, possibly. So let's listen to some of this. I'm sure many of you have heard all of this, but this is especially for the new folks, okay? For the new folks. And a big thank you to Open Secrets for allowing the use of this. I'm going to link her channel in the description of the video for everybody to be able to go and watch everything. It's really incredible, but let's continue to listen, and then we're going to get into a discussion.
In the American criminal justice system, a defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in the court of law.
Okay, social distance, gentlemen. Social distance.
Yeah, social distancing before we all catch COVID.
Ha 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 ha.
Okay, guys, I'm putting links in the description for these different hoodies, t-shirts, and coffee mugs. I think I have to sell 62 coffee mugs in order to break even for the money it's cost me to speak with both of these gentlemen for these 2 interviews via HomeWave. So thanks again, guys, for all your support.
6 years, you're getting assisting a criminal. I'm like, for what? For being in that car? For giving somebody a place to live?
How did
I had no conversations personally with anybody yet. Once I started reading Facebook and I got the call from the detective, that's when I put in my own phone calls and was like, what? Pardon my English, but lack of better words, what the happened? What's really going on? I mean, I grew up with Jasmine. I've only known Garrett for a couple of years, and I hadn't seen him for over a year. I moved to Colorado and came back, and all of a sudden he hits me up and he's like, hey, can I have somewhere to live? Can I come hang out for a few days? I'm like, yeah, bro, go ahead. My sister's home on spring break from ISU, so you can have this room, $100 a week, and I'm moving out. And all of a sudden I found out everything that went down. So
All of a sudden, I found out everything that went down.
I mean, if you want to call that, they said I made a mockery of an investigation because I got into an argument with Vince Lowe, and I told him if he wanted me that bad, do your job and come get me. I didn't hide. I was going to work every day, working for roofing in Carmel, Indiana. Was not hiding whatsoever. Driving my own car to work, everything.
so
Plates still in my name, everything. It wasn't like I was hiding in some abandoned house somewhere or hiding out with a tent in the woods. No. I was living in a townhouse in Zionsville and working in Carmel. Once I found out, once Garrett made threats towards my kids, towards 2 out of 3 of my daughters.
Well, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. Garrett made threats to 2 or 3 of your daughters, 2 out of 3 of your daughters.
And he knows exactly where they live, and he knows where my sister goes to school. He knew her dorm room. He started making verbal threats, life threats.
on your
People
girl?
reached out to my kids' mom, who is now a license to carry, a concealed 3 carry permit, and a carry permit, and a CO now.
Good.
People started reaching out to her that she didn't even know, making more threats to her on behalf of Garrett's family.
For what?
Now
What
my
was the threats
sister-
about?
Because I was going to go public with everything I knew.
Okay.
I waited 14 months to release a work, and I still haven't yet. I mean, anything I've ever said has been what you can find through a clerk.
Yeah, there's not much.
And it's not. Why? You guys are still trying to hammer me for being an associate. They say, my old lawyer said, for making it a mockery of investigation. I mean, yeah, I kind of pushed it to the limits. But me,
I don't know what he means by associate. I don't know if he means associate of the motorcycle gang or associate of Garrett, but I'll just let that one fly by.
and Vince Lowe have a very long-standing background. He's been dealing with me since I was 11 years old, arresting me since I was 11.
It's time for you to get your shit
Skateboarding where I
straight.
shouldn't be, a bunch of stupid, just minute, minuscule things.
Just
So, I
don't
mean,
worry
I was
about
kind
that. That's the past.
I was agitated with him. So they're trying to say that that's my assisting a criminal because I eluded an investigation by not coming forth and telling what I knew. I didn't have a warrant for my arrest at the time. It's not my place.
And
Why?
it's
This man knows where
dangerous
my
on the
kids live.
streets,
Why would I want to
obviously.
say anything?
It's dangerous on the streets. Obviously, you know, you guys see
It's
that.
not, I'm not even worried about that. But
They killed
out
Nicole
of
because...
regard for my 2 daughters, why
Yes.
would I want to tell you anything?
No, I understand.
What are you guys going to do? You guys going to put people outside her house and
Yeah, exactly.
they cracked down on a single mom murder, which respect to that. Hey, I appreciate that because God forbid if something happened to my kids' moms, I'd want that.
Fuck yeah.
Now all my kids' moms, due to this case, are all concealed carry permits.
Yeah. Okay,
But I've also
so
lost all my rights to my kids and everything. So.
let's talk about Garrett, but not to do with anything in your case at all.
A good person, hard worker, showed up every day for work, was never late, would work all the overtime I asked him. If I sent him somewhere off job site to go chop wood or work for the president of our company, when we were working for Exterior Review, A1 dude. I have nothing bad to say about him.
All-American boy.
Literally, I have nothing bad to say about him. Nothing.
Except
all the way up until I didn't see him for a year, and he was all the way out there mentally.
A different person.
So I don't know what happened. He was a completely different person.
Something happened that triggered some underlying, like, neurological.
All I know is that when he showed up with 3 people, a gun, and a lot of meth. And I was like, okay, what's really going on? I'm going to leave for a few days, get comfortable. I'll be back to check on you guys.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with this. So don't even tell me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but, so before that you had nothing bad to say. Do you think that him and Ashley were, like, toxic to each other? Who's the worst?
Toxic?
oh, hold on. I just saw that arm.
That him and Ashley were, like...
Oh, what we got there?
That him and
There.
Ashley were, like, toxic to each other? Who's the worst?
Toxic?
Who's worse out of them? Who's more dangerous?
She thinks that she is some PhD major in psychology and this, that, and the other.
Who's dangerous, though?
Needless to say, she is a mind and probably the most deviant, manipulative, emotional person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Garrett is a more immediate, boom, hands on, as soon as it happens, wham.
He loses it. He snaps.
Yes.
And
Like,
she's
and
more...
where my pod sits, I can watch his pod all day long, so I see everything.
Yeah, he snaps. Like, he said, I never did that to Libby and Abby because if you see people say all the time, Garrett, I got caught for this murder 2 days after. That must have been planned. I said, that wasn't planned, Garrett. You snapped.
The way I understood it, before our DNA labs were pulled, we got DNA labs done May 25th, if I'm correct. May 25th or 27th, something like that. Don't quote me on the date. But upon getting out of the van, coming back from court, Ashley was like, Chris, can they pull DNA from fist prints? I said, fist prints? What the hell are you talking about? She says, my fist prints are all over that body. I said, from what? She says, I beat her up while Garrett was choking her. I'm like, you guys are really that in the head. Like, you couldn't have just left it like a ex-girlfriend fight. No, y'all pushed it that much further. You could have just been like, no, he's mine. Y'all fought, pulled some hair, got out the way.
Well, Nicole was...
Because that jealousy motive is BS. That's why. Yes, she put her hands on Nicole, but it's because they were killing Nicole, not because they were jealous of Nicole. Let's get it right, Garrett. Chris.
She had messaged her sister. She was gonna tell about the murder of Ray. So she had to go.
No.
Which, from what I understand, that happened during a 2-week. I ended up getting the full rundown on that. It's really.
Isn't it? That. I know.
Did he tell you like the whole how he played? Stalker and creep through Grinder and everything.
Insane! It's a freaking movie. Is it not?
Kathy, I've checked these out 3 years ago. I'm finally playing them for you at this show at this very moment. Okay, let's be nice. Of course, I've checked these out years ago, and I've always been concerned about them.
It's more than just a movie. It's evil to make a profile and hunt them down just to. Oh man.
Yeah, he told me all of that. I said.
I'm getting distracted with the chat. I'm kind of upset tonight, so I don't know. Let me back off. Listen to what he says. It's interesting here.
And hunt them down.
Okay. He's talking about catfishing. Okay, please understand.
It's a freaking movie. Is it not?
It's more than just a movie. It's evil to make a profile and hunt them down just to
catfish them, to murder them.
he told me all of it. I mean, I said, how did you become so smart of a criminal? Like, because my whole thing
Believe
is,
it or not, meth will open up ways of thinking that you will not imagine.
Yep,
Like, I can
I
do a
agree.
lot of things nowadays with software programs and stuff that I couldn't do when I was 21, 22, 23, and 24. Now you give me a laptop, a tablet, and a phone, and I'll turn your phone into a security monitor and a motion detector and a lot of other things. It only takes me about 5 minutes.
well, because I kind of wondered that too, but I'm like, because the thought and the preparation that had to go into that.
I still have yet to hear how anything went down at the trailer. I haven't asked for that. I haven't asked for the recorded interviews of his story. Truthfully, I don't want to know, because then I get to sit with that every day.
Yeah.
For a man that willingly screamed my kid's address out of a door and said he was sending people there, I have nothing to say. No.
One day, they're going to understand that.
I'll take the time and go sit down. That means that my kids will be free and okay.
Yes.
I'm not going to put them lives at jeopardy. I have an 11-year-old who is 5'3", who does kickboxing, gymnastics, and cheer camp. I have a 10-year-old who is a year and 2 months to the day apart from her 11-year-old sister, and they live 4.5 hours apart. And I have a almost 5-year-old daughter.
Ugh.
I'm not going to jeopardize their lives.
Especially
Look what happened in Delphi.
knowing what he's capable of.
Why do I want to risk that? And it wasn't like I just heard it. The COs heard it and recorded it, case of it, and turned it into the state.
What? You lost.
Of him making threats towards my kids and my family.
Oh, inside.
Inside. And outside.
That's scary. And
That's
then
why
knowing
when my
what
bro
he's...
came to see me, I said, I have nothing to say. Why? You guys can't stop what
And
we
they
can
don't
do here.
understand.
That man can reach out wherever he wants, and they think they do because they carry around a shiny badge. It goes a lot further than just your guys' judicial system.
Especially because Garrett has gotten away with so much. And he's good at... He knows how to get away with it. He's... Now... But,
Look at that reaction. Okay, look at the response to what she just said. That was pretty interesting. Watch the response here.
Guys' judicial system.
Especially because Garrett has gotten away with so much. And he's good at... He knows how to get away with it. He's... Now... But, he's coming clean. I told him, I said, if you ever want a chance in a parole hearing, it's the only way. And the sooner you start it, the sooner. So he's come a long way. I'll give you that much.
This is a letter from Garrett to me. Now, the bottom half of it is irrelevant and about the whole if I was talking to Ashley. Immediately, it starts out, yo, dog, check it out. Up over here, I got a few envelopes and $10 on the phone this week. I need some commissary, bro. Anything you can spot me, I'll get you back. You know I will. Look, man, I ain't even mad at you no more. What's done is done, and I'm the one getting life in prison, and the rest of y'all are getting a slap on the wrist, which is not true. Years are years, regardless. It doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's a year, whether it's 5, or whether it's 20, or life without parole. It's not time that you can get back, especially if you have kids
when
who
you're a
have
parent.
active roles in their lives.
That's right.
The only thing you're guilty of is riding in the whip with me, and I've already recanted the statement. Why do you think I'm going to trial, bro? I'm trying to make things right with you. Real talk, I'm sorry I ever got you involved in this shit. I will tell you this, though. Ashley implicated you in this more than I ever did. I have the paperwork to prove it. That bitch is the reason this bullshit ever went down, and if you believe her when she says she is a victim and not a suspect, her DNA came back. That shit lied. Signed, literally, and I'll put it so you can see it perfectly. Where's that? Right there.
Wait, what does it say?
It says Dirty Love, Kurtz. He's a dirty white boy, and I don't think he understands that that is a prison organization gang. You can't be that on the streets. You have to go to prison. Kurtz has never, ever been to prison.
He's scared. That's why he's been holding
well,
back.
he goes to prison saying that, and they're going to make sure he'll never be that.
He's just worried about having Delphi over his head. Because obviously that's bad.
I'm not even... That.
He should be. He should be. I want to hear that again because it cuts off.
He's just worried about having Delphi over his head. Because obviously that's bad.
I'm not even... That'd be sweat off my back, bro. Tell them, please tell them the real story. Please, because I'm not.
Please tell him the real story. Do these guys not talk like they have knowledge of Delphi?
It's not my place. I got kids to worry about. I'm not. Now you want to know my part? I'll tell you what I see.
You want to know my part? I'll tell you what I seen.
It. But I'm not going to do it without these charges disappearing. Nope. I'm not taking this time. I'll sit here another 14 months if I have to.
We're talking about things that we know that nobody knows.
Outside of this case.
Okay,
yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Garrett's he is distraught that she turned on him.
He should have just told the truth the first 3 times he had the chance. Back in April of May of last year. He should have never changed his story. I have 56 pages of transcripts from everybody else.
Oh, he's telling the truth now. But he is saying that Ashley's not. He's telling the truth.
Oh, she's not as innocent as she's playing out to be.
Oh, no, I know. And he told me that, too.
That, I know.
I know how you could get the Talitha and Ashley deal, but it seems to me like you weren't around him around those times. So, if you...
Not even that I wasn't around him. I mean, I know what he told me during phone calls after everybody split and Ashley went to Crawfordsville and then to India and then Garrett took off and went to go try to steal the car. There's a lot I know. But I'm not just going, you think I'm going to listen to Newton County and just come up off of everything and hope and pray that you guys give me what I want? Why? I gave you one piece. You guys keep me on a community corrections. I told you on an open stand, look, I've been doing drugs since I was 17 years old. You guys are mad that I smoked a little bit of pot because I was raising a mom that has MS. I was raising my nephew, taking care of my sister who was diagnosed with cancer. My other sister's moving away, and I'm fighting tooth and fucking nail and skin to get a relationship, even a Zoom phone call with 3 of my daughters, because I was literally so overworked and just stressed out. I didn't know what else to do. So I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gas station and buy some gummies. And they had 6% THC in them.
Maybe this is a sign though, because maybe the gummies would have worked for a day, and then because I know that this is hard on you.
Yeah. In an addict way, yes. Maybe this is a sign that maybe it could have snowballed and got worse.
Thanks again, guys, for watching and supporting the channel. Please let me know your thoughts below. I'm dying to know what you guys think.
We're down where I was at.
In the American criminal justice system, a defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in the court of law.
We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Just be patient.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've narrowed down where I was at. February 7th was my birthday. I was working at Packers.
Is your birthday? You
Yeah.
born in February? Okay.
Yeah, I was working at Packers at that time. I had a girl I was working with named Amber take me to Lafayette to get some spice. She took me back up to my grandma's house. I got all fucked up, didn't go to work the next day, and I went in a fucking spiral getting fucked up and shit. And then I'm pretty sure I was at my grandma's house, and then my mom came and picked me up and then took me back to my Uncle Toby's house so I could fucking, clean myself out because I didn't want to do it at my grandma's. Would have been my 19th or 20th birthday.
And so were you clean? Like, do you remember that birthday because you were clean and then you started using again?
I mean, I wasn't clean at all. I got high on my birthday.
Oh, okay. Okay. But you worked at Packers, so that's okay. Well, that's good.
I'm pretty sure I was working at Packers at that time, yes. I mean, they could fucking tell you if I was or not.
Worked at Packers February 7th. And on that day is when you remember Amber taking you to Lafayette for spice?
Yep.
Did she work at this plant too?
Yeah.
Okay, and so that would have been your last day working at Packers or not?
I'm pretty sure because I got off the night before, and then I woke up freaking out because I missed work, and my grandma told me she wasn't going to take me because I was still fucked up.
Oh, does your mom and grandma live together?
No.
Okay, so grandma's in Lafayette's house?
No, my grandma's in Brookston.
Oh. Was this your grandma that's alive or your grandma that passed away?
My grandma that's alive.
Oh, okay. Oh, hell, you're getting closer. So that worked at Packers. So you remember kind of like being late, and then is it just one of those jobs like if you don't show up or you're late, then that's it? Like one shot and you're out?
Yeah, because I was in orientation. So
okay.
if you fucking show up and do the orientation, or you get fired. If you miss one day, you're gone.
Yep, that's usually what it is here too. She worked at Packers. Okay. When was the last time you saw her?
I got arrested at my grandma's apartment in Howard County. I seen her like 2 days before that. But I went from Howard County to Boone County, and that's where I started doing my time in Boone County, where I got sentenced. I had to do 90 days, and I went from there to fucking White County, and then got out of White County, and that's when I was in work release in Tippecanoe.
Figure out what kind of car he was driving, or a motor, that could help him. You could look at like your registrations in the state, things like that.
I didn't have a vehicle. I haven't had a license since I was fucking 17.
Oh. Okay, so you didn't have a vehicle. So how did you get around, Garrett? Just whoever, mom? If you could
Mom, grandma, call, hey, I need a ride, I got gas money, whoever I could get a ride from.
Yeah, gas money. The good old days, right? So you were arrested January 2017 for possession, right? Or operating under the influence? So, okay, so what county was that?
I'm pretty sure it was White County.
And when you got out from that, didn't you have probation that you were checking in with?
I'm not sure.
I saw your message on, help me prove the world my innocence. And if you had to report once a month or maybe a drug test once a month, that would be on record.
I was trying to figure out when Garrett and Ashley first began dating.
We hung out one night, went on a date. I went and hung out with her grandma's house, and then I went to jail and then got out, and it was colder than fuck outside. I walked from my dad's house to there, and I stayed. That's how I ended up getting with her.
Oh, that's when you guys started getting serious?
I wouldn't really call it serious. Yeah, I guess you could say that because I didn't leave her, but
Wait, how long did you walk in the cold? Like how many miles is that?
Like a 20-minute walk.
From her grandma's, or from the jail to your dad's, or from hers to your dad's?
No, from my dad's to her house in Lafayette. They both live in Lafayette.
Wow. So, okay. Where does Ashley's grandma live?
Delphi.
Okay. So I'm trying to pinpoint this date. Hold on, okay, so you went to jail. That was in January then, right? After that first date, before you got serious with Ashley, right? You guys had a first date?
I'm not sure when I went to jail, to tell you the truth, because I went to jail in Boone County. I got out. I got out, and I was at my dad's. I was supposed to be getting sober and shit. I hit Ashley up. I was like, hey, you staying clean? You staying sober and shit? She's like, yeah. So I go over there, and this bitch has been getting high the whole fucking time, and then pulls out a fucking one-hitter full of spice and throws it to me, and that started the whole fucking road all over again.
Okay, I get it, but that was when you guys were just going to start hanging out, right? I'm trying to understand because I think we can help with your alibi with it, because if Ashley was in jail, or if you guys were together, she could be your and like it or not, whatever your alibi is, whatever it turns out to be, it is. You can't pick it. So if you were with her, then, but maybe you weren't, and that because it seems like if you were with Ashley, you were all in. So maybe you guys weren't together then. That would mean why you were withdrawing, not using. And
I think she was in Florida. I'm not sure.
When in February?
Yeah, I'm not positive, so don't quote me on that.
Clean.
But
to get clean, right?
It wasn't to get clean the whole time she was there. She moved in with another dude, didn't go to rehab. She got high every day and lived on the fucking beach. She never got sober when she was in Florida.
So when she was in Florida, explain to me how that was. It was like she was gone, so you missed her, and I'm sure you thought about her all the time, but because she wasn't there, out of sight, out of mind, did it become easier?
Yeah, no doubt. I didn't have to worry about her no more. I started dating other people when she was in Florida.
Like who?
I fucked around with Amber. Dated a girl named Michaela.
Okay. So you were sleeping around, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Names sound familiar?
Which of these alibis did you provide to the Indiana State Police, and were they able to corroborate these with any family members?
If you gave them an alibi, did you give them like the information you remember that you told me, and so they could then go check it out with your family?
Yeah.
Okay.
They went and talked to my dad, went and talked to my mom, all that shit.
I thought when they went to talk to your dad that he said no. I thought you said something like
Yeah,
that.
he did. He wouldn't talk to him, but they tried to go talk to him.
Oh, for the alibi.
Yeah. Well, no, they wanted to talk to him about my dad was called in as an anonymous tip, and they went to talk to
Wait. What about your dad? Speaking of your dad, hold on, Garrett. What about your dad?
him at work. My dad said, "Look, talk to my lawyer."
Was this after the Ron stuff?
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you do want to support the channel, you can check out the links below for the different
Addicts to go to very, very, very steep fucking, situations to get their drugs, whether it be sell themselves, whether it be commit robbery, whether it mean fucking kill somebody.
In the American criminal justice system, a defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in the court of law.
What is that one, like 60 feet?
80, 100, something like that. And there's spaces between the boards like that. We used to get drunk and run across it.
Did you ever fall? You wouldn't live, right?
Oh, probably not. That water ain't but like 2 foot deep. Yeah, well, when we were, when I was hanging out with all my buddies and shit, we used to take our cars back there, on the trail that goes to the...
All right, let me stop it and start it again, because this is really important. This is where he's describing his knowledge of the bridge and the area there. So back that shit up. Okay.
60 feet?
80, 100, something like that. And there's spaces between the boards like that. We used to get drunk and run across it.
Did you ever fall? You wouldn't live, right?
Oh, probably not. That water ain't but like 2 foot deep. Yeah, well, when we were, when I was hanging out with all my buddies and shit, we used to take our cars back there, on the trail that goes to the bridge, but it's real tight. You gotta damn near crawl out the window to get out of the fucking car when you get back there. Yeah, I mean, we used to go back there and sit on the bridge. You can run across that motherfucker, but there's spaces in between we always used to go out there and get fucked up so you could run across the bridge without falling.
Oh my God, that's
And if
crazy.
you fall, you're gonna die because it's pretty high up. So
Well, so you're not very risk adverse, huh?
no shit. And then when they questioned me, like 4 detectives bombarded me. They're like, "Well, if you know something, it's got to be weighing on your conscience." I said, "Don't try to guilt trip me, motherfucker, because I didn't have nothing to do with that shit."
Did they come in thinking they already had their mind made up, or did they come in with an open mind? It seems like
Well,
they're just...
they came in with the detective that came to pick me, that took me down to the police post to take that polygraph. He even told me himself that he didn't think that I did something like that.
Oh, Garrett, that's just what they tell you to get you talking. That's what they tell you to get you talking, boy. Wise up, bro.
Well, they asked me, like, they said that my phone pinned on the cell phone tower in Delphi that day and all, but that's bullshit. I wasn't in Delphi that day.
They
Your phone did ping that day.
ask you?
Yeah, and like I remember I was at my mom's house at my Uncle Toby's, and I remember seeing her on the news,
Yeah.
And my mom's like, "Oh my God!" And I remember seeing that on the news at my Uncle Toby's house. But they said my phone pinged in Delphi on the day of the murder. I said, "Well, they're like, what was your phone number?" I don't fucking know. You know how many phones I've had? I get paranoid. And the detective's like, "How many phones have you had?" I said, "You know how many phones I've traded for drugs?" They said my phone pinged in Delphi on the day of the murder. I said, "Well, they're like, what was your phone number?" I don't fucking know. A lot of people, especially Newton County, like they don't see me for who I am. They just see me for what happened. I mean, with a plea bargain for 45 years, for me to take a polygraph for the homicide in Delphi of those 2 little girls. And I took a polygraph and I passed it. Well, one of the questions they asked me, I answered a question.
No. See, this dude here, he's a habitual liar. He didn't pass the polygraph. Okay, let's back that up. 10 seconds. Sorry.
Take a polygraph for the homicide in Delphi of those 2 little girls. And I took a polygraph and I passed it. Well, one of the questions they asked me, I answered a question, and then they asked me a question like back to back. So like I was still trying to comprehend. My mind was still trying to comprehend another one. So they said that it was deceptive. So basically what they did, the prosecutor here said, well, since you didn't pass the polygraph, we're going to take the 45-year plea off the table. So that's what happened.
Oh, what question did they tell you showed deception on during your polygraph for the Delphi girls?
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable answering that question. That's still under investigation.
Why did
All right. You see, now catch this too. Catch this. He says, I don't feel comfortable answering that. It's still under investigation. So he doesn't want to say what he lied about, basically. He doesn't want to answer the question about what question did he fail. So, or show deception. So let's play it.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable answering that question. That's still under investigation.
Why did if Delphi's done with you, why did you tell me that you didn't feel comfortable telling me which question you failed on your polygraph because it was still under investigation? Your words.
I mean, I haven't fucking. They're still posting shit about me. YouTube is. So fucking.
No. You didn't feel comfortable telling me which question you failed during the Delphi polygraph because it was still under investigation. Is that?
I told you what question I failed. I failed the question when they asked me if I ever wished somebody was dead.
Yeah, you did tell me. You're right, but initially you didn't because it was still under investigation. And if that in fact was the question, that doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? That's my question.
They asked me, did I kill Abby and Liberty? I said no. They asked me if I knew who did it. I said no.
And that's what you failed. That's what you showed deception on? Did you kill them? Do you know who killed them?
They asked me if I was any way directly involved or indirectly involved in that murder. I said no. So if they believed that I lied on any of those questions, they sat in that fucking interrogation room and drilled me until I fucking came out with whatever the fuck they thought I knew. But they didn't. They let me walk. They brought me back to the fucking jail. That right there shows that they don't think I fucking did that shit.
No, it doesn't, Garrett. That's your logic. Okay, your logic doesn't make sense there. You showed deception on the polygraph regarding your knowledge of the Delphi murders, and that's why you didn't get the plea deal.
Okay, I'm asking for myself. That question is for me, like I said. That's my question.
And I just answered it.
And he doesn't want to talk about it.
Okay. I feel like he didn't, but...
Jerry, on your Facebook, someone took a screenshot of it. They put it on Reddit, and it said that a couple days before the Delphi double homicides, so you posted something that said something about like fuck the cops. I didn't try to pick up a 14-year-old girl. Do you remember that? Or
Yep.
It was in the beginning of 2017.
Yeah, some fucking if I could have if somebody get my Facebook, some lady called me and said that fucking somebody said that I tried to pick up her daughter or some shit, and I didn't, you know?
Oh, you didn't? Not a 14-year-old, was it? Was it a 14-year-old?
Okay. Did the cops call you about that, or was that just Facebook drama?
No, that was just some lady on Facebook saying that if she didn't fucking, if I didn't bring her daughter back, she's gonna call the cops on me. I was like, call the cops, bitch, because I didn't pick your daughter up.
Okay.
And I can't.
Did Gabe Ellis? Because Gabe, your buddy Gabe, he also had little girls.
Remember who it was, but that's honestly what that was about. Trying to say that I tried to pick up an underage girl, which I didn't.
Or was it Cody? Was she 14 but know how to tweak it though?
I was underage myself, so I'm pretty sure I was, but I don't remember.
No, you were what, 18 or 19?
I mean, fucking, they really want to fucking try to pin this shit on me, and then fucking they can try to figure out and pinpoint, like, oh, were you here? They have to prove I was on that fucking bridge that day. I wasn't, so there's no way they can prove that.
Like on the news or something?
Yeah, it was on the news.
And so, right, and that's a major thing. Like, what did you think when was everybody just in shock or what?
Well, yeah, because my mom's like, what the fuck? And then I seen the TV, I was like, whoa.
And then what you guys didn't talk about it, or, I mean, don't you want to
Well, yeah,
know
I mean, we were like, that's fucked up. I mean, my mom's a paranoid person anyway, so, I mean, she started talking crazy shit, like, oh my God, I was, look, Mom, I don't know.
What was she saying?
She started... What my mom always used to say, she's like, well, I think it's the trucker that was passing through. I'm like, Mom, I don't fucking know. That's a good, good logic,
Yeah, no, people say that. So she's also on the hunt for the killer. Aw, God bless her.
One person that I talked to has said this case in Newton County was way too sloppy. I got arrested for it 2 days after it happened. That shit in Delphi happened 4 years ago.
Yeah. So, wait, finish that point. I don't want to take your thought away because I'm trying to figure out the conclusion to that sentence, though.
But they were trying to say, like, you know, Garrett Kurtz was too sloppy to make to do that shit in Delphi, because I mean, honestly, that shit had to have been thought out, premeditated. That shit didn't just happen on spur of the moment, you know.
I think it probably did.
Just from the,
I don't think human beings.
just from the outside looking in.
I think Bridge Guy probably has like mental illness, possibly like multiple concussions, and or also was infused with drugs. I don't think that human beings do evil stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you were saying that. But how do people? There's trails then? That's what people say, but where? I don't see any trails when I look at the maps.
Well, where Ron's property is, where it goes back behind the barn, where the horses always go.
Okay.
Down there along the creek, there's a sandbar, and there's a path. I rode Ron's foiler back there one time and rode for like 8 hours.
Did you?
Yeah, I made trails all the way through there.
It came to you after you were arrested in April, right?
Yeah, that's what aggravates me, because I wasn't even a person of interest until this shit happened.
Oh, someone said, did you lock yourself in your room for a week directly after the murders, as a family member claims? I think that's the most important question they wrote.
Did I what?
Remember how we were talking about your cousin Tiffany? I think that's what this is. It says, did you lock yourself in your room for a week directly after the murders, as a family member claims? The most important question I think you could answer, that person said.
She told my mom the reason that she did that shit was to get everybody to shut the fuck up. Well, I was talking shit about your family, getting everybody to shut the fuck up about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense, but someone said that was what was happening. It was suspicious to her after.
You see, this point Moonbeam 70s Child is making, these boys seem to know they know more about the killings and who is involved. Do they know Richard Allen? I gather not. I gather they do not. This is my point, is that as you listen to all of this, and there's a lot of it, on my channel, I have a playlist in which all of it's collected. So you can go to my channel, find the playlist, and it's all there. If you listen to all of that at least once, but even multiple times, you'll start to realize that these boys are discussing this situation as if they have some involvement, which no one ever does. You'll find no one else in the world discussing the Delphi murders as if they have involvement. Do you understand what I'm saying? They are discussing it as if they have knowledge. They're not discussing it as if they're speculating, as if they're fans of true crime sitting on the outside. No, they're discussing it like first person. And if you go and listen to all this shit thoroughly, you'll realize that. And you have to ask yourself, what kind of seasoned criminals, known murderers, this guy's killed 2 people, would discuss the double homicide of 2 little girls as if they have involvement in it or knowledge? No one does that.
You were arrested, and she said that you're under investigation, so I don't know. Okay.
I don't really know her. That's my Uncle Toby's granddaughter. I mean, I met her once or twice.
Someone said you know Derek German.
Nope.
Were you in that area around that time, which I think we talked about, you may be working at the hog plant?
Yeah, I mean, I was either working at the hog plant, but I mean, I remember waking up at my mom's house, and that shit was all over the news, like when they found them. So I was in Kokomo that time.
Yeah, that's what you said. Okay, and then you aren't, as far as you know, at least by name, you aren't aware of the German family, correct?
No, No,
What
not
ab-
whatsoever.
What about the Patty family? Last name Patty.
Nope.
How about the Williams family?
The only Williams I know is a dude named Dustin Williams from
How do you not know any of these people when you're a meth user and smoker and you hung out at Ron Logan's and
Frankfurt. That's about it. Which
Okay.
I don't think there's any relation there.
And then, do you know the German family? Or wait,
No, I don't.
no. Okay. How did they know each other? Or like, you didn't know the girls, you knew Michaela and Ashley. Now, you said that she's Ashley's cousin, or?
No, I think she was Libby's cousin.
Libby's cousin, okay.
but you don't know the family, but you know Michaela? I think you do know the family.
Oh, okay. Someone asked that yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Yep. And then what else was asked?
I'm not sure.
Should I open it back up? I could, but I didn't know any of those names, but you
All
want.
of a sudden, everybody wants to act like I killed those little girls in Delphi based on a fucking alleged fucking crime that I committed in Newton County. I wasn't even anywhere near a fucking suspect 4 years ago when this fucking shit happened. Now everybody wants to play detective on fucking YouTube and Facebook and podcasts and shit and act like they're a fucking detective. That's why I get aggravated. Where were these motherfuckers 4 years ago? Why weren't they fucking talking to me then? The only thing that worries me about prison is if I have this shit being questioned about it all over the news and I get to prison. Crimes against kids are fucking frowned upon.
He called that anonymous tip line and like tried to go get my dad at work, and my dad shut that shit down. He's like, call my attorney. I'm not talking to you.
Do you think that it could be someone you used to do drugs with, or do you think it's a crime someone could have committed on drugs? Like, what would have been the motive?
I don't know. I don't see what anybody's motive would be to do crazy, sadistic like that. You know what I mean?
I guess it's sadistic, yeah. Like, do you know? Like, I know it's all rumor, but
No.
Kill
Do
on
that
spot.
shit. So, and when I talked to that reporter that Ed Bounds had, I said they stopped. She's like, do you know how the girls were killed? I said, yeah, they were stabbed. She goes, how'd you know that? I said, Michaela told us. She told all of us about that shit.
They were stabbed.
She said they stopped counting stab wounds at so-and-so on both of them.
that's a trail system, right? There's different trails that go for like miles in each direction.
I think. I mean, I've never been on one.
Wait, hold on, Bub. You just said that you'd ride the three-wheeler or four-wheeler back there. And you knew the back of Ron's property, right? You worked those horses, right?
I don't know. It's not Ron's, but they were found on Ron's. I don't know. I think it was across the creek.
Because I don't think the bridge goes all the way back to Ron's property. I don't know. You know, I don't even know where Ron's property line ends.
Right, yeah.
Because there's a cemetery, or like right on the borderline of Ron's pasture, and I'm not sure who owns that.
Okay. Is that the cemetery in that town, or is there like more than one?
There's more than one, I'm pretty sure. I've never been to the end of it.
Okay.
We've always went out to the middle and came back. Because honestly,
It's long, right? It's a long bridge?
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
But I think that the end of it looks just like the entrance. You know, it's gravel piled up and shit. I mean,
But when you ever cross the bridge, did you ever do anything at the end of the bridge? You grew up on the bridge. What is there to do at the end of that bridge? Is there another trail? Is there, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? A hill or
Ron's
something?
property was back by the creek where it drops down over the hill. Because there's a four-wheeler trail where I used to ride my four-wheeler down there.
Sure, I know which one's the
I've
southeast.
never been back there in the daylight.
Okay.
I think I'm good at it. If I was so good, what the fuck-
I've never been back there in the daylight. That's an odd phrase too. Never been back there in the daylight?
I do. Why would I have been caught for a fucking homicide 2 days after it happened and left my DNA all over the fucking body?
I think that was just.
That's pretty fucking stupid, wasn't it?
I think that it was. Yeah. Your DNA was on the body.
On the coals? Yes.
On Ray's.
Huh?
Never mind. So maybe you guys weren't together then. That would mean why you were withdrawing, not using, and
I think she was in Florida. I'm not sure.
In February.
Yeah, I'm not positive, so don't quote me on that. But
To get clean, right?
yeah, I didn't have to worry about her no more. I mean, I started dating other people when she was in Florida.
Like who?
I fucked around with Amber. Dated a girl named Michaela.
Okay. So you were sleeping around, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, did you give them like the information you remember that you told me, and so they could then go check it out with your family?
Yeah.
Okay.
They went and talked to my dad, went and talked to my mom, all that shit.
No, they didn't.
I thought when
Your
they went
dad
to talk
wouldn't
to your
talk to
dad
them.
that he said no. I thought you said something like
No,
that.
he did. He wouldn't talk to him, but they tried to go talk to him.
Oh, for the alibi.
Yeah. Well, no, they wanted to talk to him about, because my dad was called in as an anonymous tip, and they went to talk to him at work. My dad said, "Look, talk to my lawyer."
Right, because your dad is one of the POIs. Are you admitting that? Because out here in these YouTube streets and in these Delphi streets, your father is named very specifically as a POI in the Delphi murders, Garrett.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've narrowed down where I was at. February 7th was my birthday. I was working at Packers.
Is your birthday? You
Yeah.
born in February? Okay.
Yeah, I was working at Packers at that time. I had a girl I was working with named Amber take me to Lafayette to get some spice. She took me back up to my grandma's house. I got all fucked up, didn't go to work the next day, and I went in a fucking spiral getting fucked up and shit. And then I'm pretty sure I was at my grandma's house, and then my mom came and picked me up and then took me back to my Uncle Toby's house so I could fucking, clean myself out because I didn't want to do it at my grandma's. Would have been my 19th or 20th birthday.
And so were you clean? Like, do you remember that birthday because you were clean and then you started using again?
I mean, I wasn't clean at all. I got high on my birthday.
Oh, okay. But you worked at Packers, so that's okay. Well, that's good.
I'm pretty sure I was working at Packers at that time, yes. I mean, they could fucking tell you if I was or not.
Worked at Packers February 7th. And on that day is when you remember Amber taking you to Lafayette for spice?
Yep.
Did she work at this plant too?
Yeah.
Okay, and so that would have been your last day working at Packers or not?
I'm pretty sure because I got off the night before, and then I woke up freaking out because I missed work, and my grandma told me she wasn't going to take me because I was still fucked up.
Oh, does your mom and grandma live together?
No.
Okay, so grandma's in Lafayette's house?
No, my grandma's in Brookston.
Being late, and then is it just one of those jobs, like if you don't show up or you're late, then that's it? Like one shot and you're out?
Yeah, because I was in orientation. So
Okay.
you fucking show up and do the orientation, or you get fired. If you miss one day, you're gone.
Yep, that's usually what it is here.
But when I got with her, I got strung out on meth. I didn't talk to my family for 5 months. They didn't even know where the fuck I was at. They were going to report me missing because they hadn't talked to me, all because of Ashley.
Because you were living in the woods with Ashley out there behind Ron's in those same exact woods.
When?
I had a warrant because I was staying with her, and fucking, like, she'd leave me at the house and go run off, and I'd wake up, she wouldn't be there. I'm like, what the fuck? And then, like, I was telling you about her ex-boyfriend, Henry. She would leave me at the house and go manipulate him into her getting him high, or him getting her high, and then, like, she would tell him shit, and, like, he'd have all of his buddies come over and kick me out of her house, and then, 20 minutes later, she'd call me back, like, oh, I miss you, come back. Like, bitch, you just kicked me out of the house. Why do you... She plays mind games like that, and
Wait.
that shit's what fucked me, like messed my head up a lot is because of her.
It's called a toxic relationship, Garrett.
She made me feel like I was 2 foot
and 2 users and abusers.
2 inches tall. Made me feel like I didn't mean nothing to her.
The one part
I don't know. Honestly, I can't even tell you where I was at. I mean,
I
I was at my Uncle Toby's house before, but at the same time, I was running around getting high. I mean, I know I don't remember. I can tell you right now, I remembered if I would kill 2 little girls. I know I didn't do that shit.
Well, that was going to be my next question is, Garrett, like, what kind of drugs are you fucking taking? Because could that be something that, that shit is like, I don't know. I feel like something like this has to be tied to some kind of altered state because it's just not.
Well, I can tell you right now, I have never gotten high on anything where I've woken up and not remembered what I did the night before.
Okay.
She told me that Sheena Cottrell and Nick Edwards had fucking videotapes of the shit, and that she heard them talking about it. And then when I asked her about it, she's like, "Oh, I don't know nothing."
And were you like, why did you just say that then?
Yeah. And then she shut it down, wouldn't fucking talk about it. Someone claimed to have video of it.
What did she say that happened in the video? What did she
I don't know. I didn't fucking ask.
Am I misspeaking? I know sometimes I don't make any damn sense.
I mean, I'm really fucking over talking about the Delphi shit, really. I didn't do it. So I don't know why everybody's trying to fucking harass me about it. Like,
I'm not trying to harass you. I'm talking to you. That's all. I'm not trying to harass you, and I don't judge you, Garrett. I'm being honest with you. I'm not going to lie.
Honestly, I don't give a fuck if you judge me. I know I didn't fucking do the shit. That's all that matters to me. I don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks.
I know, but why are you getting defensive? I've been trying to help you clear your name, and I still am. I know it's frustrating, and I understand. You can take it out on me. That's okay.
I'm not trying to take it out on anybody, but I've been in this motherfucker for a year and a half, and before this case in Newton County even happened, I was nowhere near a fucking suspect. Then all of a sudden, I'm fucking allegedly accused of a murder that has no fucking... That has several sudden everybody wants to act like I killed those little girls in Delphi based on a fucking alleged fucking crime that I committed in Newton County. I wasn't even anywhere near a fucking suspect 4 years ago when this fucking shit happened. Now everybody wants to play detective on fucking YouTube and Facebook and podcasts and shit and act like they're a fucking detective. That's why I get aggravated.
Yes, we do.
Where were these motherfuckers 4 years ago? Why weren't they fucking talking to me then?
Well, I think there are some people that think, the people that think you did it think that you are good at what you do. And then the people that think you didn't do it don't think you are. And I don't know what to think. I've told you that. Like, I'm trying, and I told you, it's not my opinion. That's not what I report on at all. I don't have my opinion. I asked you from me, and I understand that you're saying, well, I don't give a fuck what your questions are. I don't care what you think. Like, I'm talking about the case. That's fine, and I won't ask it anymore. But I was wondering, it would make me feel better to know the answer to that. And it's okay. It's not my business. And I'm sorry for upsetting you.
Well, people that say they think I'm good at it. If I was so good at what the fuck I do, why would I have been caught for a fucking homicide 2 days after it happened and left my DNA all over the fucking body?
I think that was just...
That's pretty fucking stupid, wasn't it?
I think that it was, yeah. Your DNA was on the body?
On the coals? Yes.
On Ray's?
Huh?
Never mind. He definitely a change.
She said on Ray's because you killed him as well.
A modus operandi, right? I don't know. I feel like there was, I don't know why that, I still don't understand. I can't answer that personally and honestly to you, because until the trial's over and you and I can sit down and talk truth, I think it's possible, especially with the drug use. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, let me ask you this. You think what's possible? Answer that question.
I think it's possible that you could be the bridge guy. If
you think that's possible, then I have no fucking desire talking to you whatsoever.
Do you think that night that she told you that she heard someone had said there was videos, do you think that was when you and her first were able to talk about it and it was like still fresh?
It wasn't even Ashley, just herself, that told me that. It was Ashley and a woman named Tamsin Rick told me that shit.
Same girl that told you that you had a hit out on you?
Yeah.
All right. Are we done yet? Almost.
Did you ever worry
That'd be
about
the one to talk
your mom's safety, your girlfriend's safety? Did you ever, like, did you look over your shoulder more? Like, I know everybody says
No.
that, but you personally, no?
No, because when I heard that shit, I mean, I tried to meet it head on when she told me who it was. I called him. I said, so what, you looking to fuck me up or what? You know where I'm at.
Oh, wait. What did I say? Maybe I said the wrong thing. What did I just say? Help me, Garrett. I'm sorry.
You said, did I worry about my safety or anybody else's safety after she told me that?
Did you worry about your girlfriend's safety, your mom, your grandma, your sister, whatever, knowing that killer was on the loose all that time? Did you look constantly around your back? Like, were you looking over your shoulder, making sure that there's a killer on the loose? So you, not to be mean, but you aren't wrapped up in the Delphi murders. Like, you didn't even really think about it. Is that safe to say?
No. I mean, it doesn't involve me. I don't fucking think about it.
Well, when there's a serial sadistic killer, in your own words, on the loose, you know, I'm just saying, I know you're a man, so you don't have to think like that. But as far as, like, your sister, your mom, your girlfriend, did you ever tell Ashley, like, hey, be safe, you know? Or, like, when you and Michaela were hanging out? No,
because Ashley chose to put herself in situations that she would have to worry about. You know what I mean? I didn't.
No. I'm talking about the bridge guy being on the loose. So, like, when you and Michaela were...
I get what you're saying. No, I didn't worry about that at all. It doesn't involve me. I didn't worry about it.
Okay.
And And like I said, I mean, I've said it before. If they were really serious and hell-bent on thinking that I fucking did it, they'd be up here talking to me about it. They wouldn't just fucking lay in limbo and then boom, fucking hit me with it. They wouldn't do that.
Well, they did talk to you about it, Garrett, and you said you answered all their questions.
Good point, girl. And you failed the polygraph.
Again, they wouldn't be waiting to charge me with that shit after this trial's over. That makes no fucking sense. That case is way worse than what it is here. So if they really believed that I had something to do with that shit, I'd have a warrant for my arrest for that fucking murder of those two little girls. I'm not stupid.
I know you're not. You're anything but stupid. I'm not. I hope that's not what I was intending.
That's the whole reason why Ed Bounds and everybody else is trying to fucking make a story. That's why they wanted to interview me, because they're waiting for me to fucking slip up and say something, which that's not going to happen. Like I said, I don't have nothing to hide. So I'll keep talking. I'll keep fucking, doing interviews, polygraphs, whatever the fuck I got to do.
Yeah, no, but that's good, because I think that's the right choice, because you want to put it to bed, and that's good, because it doesn't matter about Ed and all that shit, or even the cops. If you're not worried about that, you need to worry about what people think about you when you get where you're going. Because like you said, it's a lot of things, Garrett, and you have to step back and look at it logically. You know what I mean? Factually. And so, but I'm here to help if you wanna keep trying.
Well, I mean, I need to talk to my lawyer because, fucking, you know what I mean? I'm not fucking an attorney. I don't know the law.
But have you heard back from them?
Who?
The state police?
No.
No. What did you ever ask? Just curious. Did you ever ask why didn't you guys question me 2 years ago?
Yeah.
What did they say?
And they didn't really have anything to say.
They just had the questions.
Because they're like, do you know why we're here? I said, yeah, all over Facebook. On YouTube, of course, you guys have to investigate an anonymous tip. You know what I mean? And I got upset with them. Like, what am I mad for? You guys up here pointing the finger at me and like, oh well, it's got to be weighing on your conscience, Kurt. I said nothing's weighing on my conscience because no.
Oh,
and I'll take a polygraph.
So you're saying even law enforcement thought that you were involved to the extent that they said to you, it's got to be weighing on your conscience, Kurtz.
Right?
Yeah, and I took the polygraph.
The same day?
And you failed it.
No, the day after. And Richard Strong told me, he's like, he goes, if you hear anything, call me and let me know. We'll do this again.
Me too, please. Yeah. If you hear anything in the jail.
Do.
Are you chewing in there?
No. I
It's
wish.
just spitting.
I was gonna say that might be nice if you're having a hard time, but okay. Did Ron ever take you to the murder spot? If yes, what did you see? Is it a ravine hard to see from the creek or what?
I don't even know where those two girls were found at.
You do.
I think it was on Ron's property. I don't know where, but
The only part
up
I've
the
ever
hill
been
or
on Ron's
something.
property was back by the creek where it drops down over the hill, because there's a four-wheeler trail where I used to
And
ride my
that's
four-wheeler
where they
down
were
there.
found.
Me, Michaela Hartman, which is one of the family members. I've known her for years. Me, Michaela Hartman, Jimmy Snowberger, and a bunch of friends used to go back there and smoke weed. Walk across.
Look at my thumbnail. You'll see them all. Look at the thumbnail for this live.
The bridge and shoot. Her for years. Me, Michaela Hartman, Jimmy Snowberger, and a bunch of friends used to go back there and smoke weed. Walk across the bridge and shoot.
That so there was an interview on Inside Edition where Mr. Logan walked them down to where the girls were found, and it was like really rough terrain, like bad, like someone couldn't have dragged them
Yeah,
there.
this woods is rougher than fucking top.
Was there people that hunt in those woods? Somebody asked.
No, I've known Ron my whole life, and I've asked him to hunt out there, and he never let me.
Just kind of, once you got arrested, do you think they were thinking, oh, he helped take care of the horses, let's check him out?
Yeah, I mean, somebody called in and said that fucking, and then they had to fucking, obviously they're going to go investigate it. I don't blame them. They're doing their fucking job. He called that anonymous tip line, and I tried to go get my dad at work, and my dad shut that shit down. He's like, call my attorney. I'm not talking to you.
Well, you know what I'm saying? That's why certain people
are saying, like, without a doubt it's you. Then there's people saying, there's people saying that there's no way it could be possible. And then other people saying that they worry they could pin it on you because it's convenient. And so maybe that's why they came out with a second sketch after the Bowen arrest with you and Christopher. And
At the same time, though, I don't see how there's any similarities between this case and that case. Oh, yeah, I've heard they thought it was Fouts, the sheriff, me, they thought it was my dad, fucking all that shit.
Who's your dad?
Start over. Let's listen to this list of names he just says.
And
At the same time, though, I don't see how there's any similarities between this case and that case. Oh, yeah, I've heard they thought it was Fouts, the sheriff, me, they thought it was my dad, fucking all that shit.
who's your dad?
Mark Kurtz.
Ever talked to you about Delphi when it happened? Didn't they no. So they
Oh, Ron Logan's known my dad since he was a baby. Ron's known me since I was a baby. He's my grandpa's best friend. I've known Ron my whole life.
okay.
And
So
for them saying that I went to Ron Logan's property and did that shit, I was always out there with my father.
Yeah.
So.
okay.
Well, I've seen one of them. I don't think I look like it. Honestly, I don't. I mean, I don't have any hair. I haven't had hair for a long time. I mean, I shave my head.
Again, do you feel, didn't they tell you, oh, we're taking this off the table? That was like the excuse they used, at least, for not wanting to do a plea deal. So are you going to trial?
Oh, yeah, I'm going 100%, And I don't see what they're trying to accomplish by saying that. Because if any kind of law enforcement thought that I had any kind of involvement in that, I would be charged with it, you know what I mean?
Right, that's what you would think,
Unless they're waiting for me to get convicted here, and then they're going to try to, charge me with it, which, I mean, I'll have to go to trial on that. I don't care. I didn't do that shit, so.
I actually thought that's what was going to happen. That after Ray and Nicole, they would bring the Delphi charges. That's my own opinion.
What's that? Garrett? Oh, you broke up.
I heard rumors about, there's a grapevine in town about, and I told the police that, I told them everything I knew.
So,
I was smoking spice around that time, and, when I didn't have that shit, I was in bed puking all day, so there's, I couldn't even move.
yeah, so spice is meth.
No, spice is, a synthetic marijuana. I was smoking spice and I was doing meth.
Okay, big thank you to Open Secrets. Boy, what wonderful work did she do? Yeah, you cannot thank her enough for that. Anyway, so tonight we are here to discuss other actors. And I wanted to start off with that, even though it was quite lengthy. I think that we've got a lot of new listeners who may have not seen any of that. And that's just a taste. Keep in mind, there's probably, 20 videos. That was just 4 clips. Okay. Now, let's see if I can pull up our presentation now, and we can start getting into what we're here for. I mean, I'm just struggling right now. Let's see, where is it? Oh, man. That took longer than I thought. Okay. Okay, where is it? Here we go. Was it coming or not? There it is. Okay. Now, we've got a lot to get through. So we're going to quickly go through some of this. We've got several lists of POIs over the years. Starting with this one. Okay, so here's what I'd like to ask you. I'd like to ask you for input. Okay, as we go through this, anything you have on any of these people that you feel is important, leave it down in the chat. Okay, leave it down in the chat. So I may not read it, but you don't worry, because we have investigators who are going to put their eyes on it. And so you just don't worry your sweet ass. If you have anything to add about any of these individuals we're going to go through tonight, you just drop it on down in the chat, and we'll keep it moving. I won't necessarily read them, but trust me, some folks will. Okay. So, so this first list is quite lengthy, and it's an older list, and it's pretty thorough, I must admit. We call this the extended list. Okay. Now this has been around for quite a long time, so this is nothing new, but like I said, it doesn't hurt to go back over old things. This is the extended POI list. I'll rattle off the names, and like I said, you just put input on what you feel you might have unique and important, because we don't need comments on everyone, but I'll do the same. Okay, so what we got here as we go through here, or through this, so Andrew Hurley, Aaron LaFond. So let me stop at Aaron LaFond. The thing about Aaron LaFond, see, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add my nuggets as we go. So what I have on Aaron LaFond is, he's a gentleman that said that multiple times, he was questioned by law enforcement about his motorcycle, saying that someone witnessed his motorcycle out there at the trails that a day. Okay, so what we want to know is, for me, what's important about Aaron LaFond is, well, what type of motorcycle did you drive? I know it was a Harley, but what year? Because what is it about your motorcycle that law enforcement was so sure to ask about being there in Delphi? So then it led me to another thought, because I had anonymous tips, a few of them over the years, that there was indeed a motorcycle out there, and I was told who was driving it. Okay. And the thing about that person driving that motorcycle is that goes against the narrative of what's always been explained about who got out there and when and how. And so I'll gladly say to the investigators, but I have no receipts to prove it, but anonymous sources have reported that there's an individual who was there on a motorcycle. And it's funny because Aaron LaFond's posts insinuate the same, that there must have been a motorcycle, because he was questioned multiple times about the motorcycle. Okay. Then we got Aubrey Trail, Bailey Boswell, Bill Beeks, Blaine Bailey, Brian Becks, Blake Hicks. Okay, Blake Hicks, yes, I've got some information there. Brad Heath, yes, I've got some information there. Brad Henry, Brad Holder. Interesting, because this list is from before the Frank's memorandum. Bobby Knight, Ben Mears, yes, I am concerned about Ben Mears, and I will explain to the appropriate person why. But yes, Ben Mears. Blake McClelland, Blake Mears. Barry Sandifer. Yes, I'm concerned about Barry Sandifer. Blaine Snowberger. Brett Sandifer. Bryden Sandifer. Brad Weber. Yes, I'm concerned somewhat about Brad Weber. Kurt Beck. Chad Gibson. Chasen Lovell. Christopher Moore. I have some suspicion about Christopher Moore, not necessarily that. Cody Patty, of course. Cameron Spitznagel. Chad Swank. Chuck Sizemore. Chase Wilbur. Yes. Dale Babcock. Yes. Especially. David Erskine, no, doesn't bother me. Derek German, yes. David Huddleston, yes. David Jones, yes. Dan McCain, Dave McCain, Daniel Nations, Daniel Organ, Daniel Pearson, yes. Dustin Prater, Dayton Rummel, David Spencer, David Story, Derek Weiss, Elmer Kreider. There's another Kreider. Can't remember the name at the moment. Greg Brillis or Briles, Gary Hall, Garrett Kurtz, yes. Gabriel Ellis, yes. Jessica Allen, Jeremy Boyles, yes. Joseph Kreider, Jason Dunning, Jimmy Duvall, Josh Hewitt, J.D. Lucas, James Maxwell, Jonathan Miller, Jeff Reagan, yes. Joe Sandifer, Jerome Weiss, yes. John Weaver, yes. Josh Weaver, yes. Justin Wildley, Keegan Callis, yes. Curtis Fouts, yes. Keith Kochert, Keith Mears, Kevin Sellers, Lee Horde, Levi Holder, Logan Maxwell, Megan Allen, Matt Brown, Mike Bavard, a.k.a. Michael Allen, Martin Mears, Mark Payne, Marvin Sandifer, Max Snowberger, Matt Weber, Pat Brown, yes. Phil Benson, Paul P.J. Knight, Roy Beboot, Rick Harrison, Ricky Johnson, Ron Logan, no. Rob Maxwell, Ryan Watson, Scott LaFon, Scott Weber, yes. Scott Wilbur, yes. T.C. Babcock, Tobe Lesenby, Tyler French, Taylor J. Rowe, Tyler Logan, Travis Sandifer, William Duff, Zachary Diddler, Jake Johns. Okay, you got me? So, next, Kokomo Crew, a group of meth drug associates from Kokomo, Indiana. Okay. Alan Tinker, Blake Hicks, Brad Holder, Dusty Hooper, Dustin Prater, Elijah Cook, Gabriel Ellis, Josh Hewitt, Josh Weaver, Keegan Callis, Christy Martin, Kyle Stacy, Megan Allen, Mike Jones, Paige Turley, Raymond Wilcox, Robert Teschk, Tina Rodell, TJ, Elijah Cook's brother, and Tyler Joe French. So let's go back over this. You're going to find something interesting here. Alan Tinker, drugs and homicide. Blake Hicks, son of Tina Rodell. Brad Holder, Abby's boyfriend's father. Why is he on this Kokomo Crew list? Dustin Prater. Yes, actually several Praters here who I'd like your input on. I like your input on the Praters, any Praters. And any of the Troll Farm members who have relations to the Praters, please add your Prater comments down below at this moment if you have any commentary on Praters. Now here's where it gets interesting here. Elijah Cook rumored to have been at the trails. Josh Weaver rumored to have been at the trails. You don't say. What's funny about that is I wonder if this John Weaver that's in the scanner audio has anything to do with a Josh Weaver. Is it a relation? Is it a mistaken identity? Or were you there? Were there two Weavers together there on the morning of the 14th? So I'm pretty interested in the Weavers. Keegan Callis, rumored to have been at the trail. Look at everyone rumored to have been at the trails. It's a lot of rumors. Okay, a lot of rumored people to have been there. Christy Lynn Martin, again, possible revenge motive with Derek German. Okay, Derek German, Christy Lynn Martin was in some trouble. Kyle Stacy, blood brothers with Gabriel Ellis, possible revenge motive. Gabriel Ellis, Christy Lynn Martin, Kyle Stacy. Megan Allen, daughter of Tina, who was allegedly out there in the 12 hours prior, sexually assaulted by a gang as an initiation, rumored to have stuck a knife in someone to see what it feels like, possibly one of the girls. Megan Allen. Mike Jones, involved in a local drug ring. Paige Turley, Gabriel Ellis's female associate. Raymond Wilcox, Robert Tesh, rumored to have been at the trails. TJ, Elijah Cook's brothers, rumored to have been at the trails. Tyler Joe French, rumored to have been at the trails. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 of the Kokomo crew associates in this list rumored to have been at the trails. Do you think that's a coincidence? Again, also some other felons, another basket full of felons here. Garrett Kurtz associates, people connected to convicted double murderer Garrett Kurtz and his drug ring. Sources include various content creators. Ashley Garth murdered Nicole Bowen with Garrett Kurtz. Christopher Mathis participated in the murder of Nicole Bowen with Garrett Kurtz. Dale Babcock Jr., I am concerned about, yes. Married to Libby's cousin, Michaela. Garrett Kurtz murdered Nicole Bowen and Ray Hanish, and he admitted that Nicole Bowen was murdered by him, Ashley, and Chris Mathis as a silencing because she had knowledge of a meth-involved situation or a meth operation, as he put it, that he was involved with. Okay. So contrary to the initial story of jealousy of Ashley against Nicole Bowen, the story later came out that the truth was that Nicole Bowen was murdered because she had knowledge, inside knowledge of a meth operation that he was involved with. Therefore, he, Ashley Garth, and Christopher Mathis altogether murdered Nicole Bowen. Harley Babcock is friends of Libby's dad. Jasmine Parker participated in the murder of Nicole Bowen. Jason Palladino, Garrett Kurtz claimed Jason made the decision to kill Nicole Bowen. Now, keep in mind, all of these people were meth dealers, big time meth dealers, as was Derek German, father of Liberty German. Okay. As was Christy Lynn Martin. Okay. So you have this entire first half of this list, meth-involved crew, most of whom participated in the murder of Nicole Bowen, either directly or indirectly. Jeffrey Sneath testified at Ashley Garth's trial. Michaela Hartman Babcock, Libby's cousin, rumored to have been with the girls sometime prior to the murders. Mickey Hiddle, Garrett's drug ring buddy. Mark Palladino is Jason Palladino's father. Mark Palladino has a very odd resemblance to the enhanced bridge guy image. If you have not seen Mark Palladino, you should see Mark Palladino if you'd like to compare him to that enhanced bridge guy image. Nick Edwards, rumored to have seen the snuff film. Remember, we just heard the video of Garrett saying that Ashley was talking about Sheena Cottrell and Nick Edwards. Sheena was also a Dylan or a Ford, okay? Sheena Dillon, Sheena Ford, Sheena Cottrell, rumored to have seen the snuff film. Nick Edwards, rumored to have seen the snuff film of Abby and Libby. Do not get it twisted. And that also involved Ashley Garth as part of that story. Remember, Talitha Beckley participated in the Nicole Bowen murder. Okay. Now, this person called Mikels, I don't know, Tamsin Rewinkle, Black Coal, this last one on the list here, I cannot help you with. Okay, this is a new person to me that I have no knowledge of. Okay, but we're going to keep moving. Alan Tinker. Some of these names I don't have for you. The sibling of Michaela Hartman, I don't have for you. B. High, I'm assuming, is Blake Hicks. Brad Holder. You got Brian Phillips. You got Brett Sandifer. You got Charles Eldridge, Christopher Mathis, Dusty Hooper, Daniel Nations, Daniel Pearson, Dustin Prater, Elijah Cook, flannel shirt guy we now know to be the old man. It's his name is escaping me right now. Gabriel Ellis, Garrett Kurtz, James Brian Chadwell. Okay. Josh Lee Hewitt, Jason Wilhelm, Keegan Callis. Let me move this. Okay, you guys have to keep in mind that out of thousands of people in the area, these are the names that have always floated, okay? Keegan Callis, Curtis Fouts, Kevin Jameson, Keegan Klein, Kyle Stacy. You've got Mike Jones, Mark Sandifer. You've got Pat Brown, Paul Etter, Ron Logan, Robert Tesh, Raymond Wilcox, Thomas Bruce, TJ Cook, Tyler Joe French, Travis Lee Evans. Tina Rodell also said that Josh Hewitt may have been with the group on the 13th near the bridge. There's a rumor that Josh Hewitt told Megan Allen who started the Flora fires. Remember, Tina's daughter, Megan Allen, had the assault initiation. Tina added the fact or the assertion that it was in a gray barn near the bridge, which I would assume would have been the Mears, but it's possible it was another. Tina also asserted that Libby's dad ripped off Christy Lynn Martin, Tina's sister. I believe that. Which would add some type of motive for revenge to this crew. There were rumors and discussions that these guys were out at the bridge camping the night before. Remember, and Julie Melvin relays to us that it is at 2 a.m. on the 13th that Megan Allen is frantically calling her mother to come and pick her up from the high bridge. Okay. But she doesn't return for days. And when she does return, she turns beat up, raped, methed out of her mind, and alleging that she has stabbed someone as part of this initiation. There were rumors that people were making meth and stuff out there too while camping. There was also a rumor that Robert Tesh was dating Cheyenne. This is unconfirmed. Megan Allen and Keegan went to the bridge that day and allegedly met with additional Kokomo crew people. Remember, I just named 8 of them. They had possible drug war motives against Libby's dad, Derek German. Tina claimed that Megan Allen was high on drugs. She got lost and the others, from Keegan and the others who were out there, and called her multiple times. And remember, I'm alleging that this is at 2 a.m. on the 13th, a mere 12 hours before the alleged murders of Abby and Libby. Okay, let's continue at what may or may not have happened on the 13th, that the girls may have become victimized as a result of witnessing or becoming a part of. I saw a conversation between three people on February 15th, 2017. A kid was saying he or she was there when the girls were attacked. It didn't make sense. Why would a killer bring someone who could be a witness, commit a murder, and just let them go? It sounded crazy, like a hoax or something. But I've always felt it was important. 5 years ago, there was a woman in one of the Delphi groups, that's Tina Rodell, who made some comments about some men, that's the Kokomo crew, and her daughter, that's Megan Allen. So I called her recently to get the story. Her story could explain the conversation I found. It makes more sense to me now. Look up Tina Bogard Kokomo crew. So keep in mind, this is a separate witness. Now, this particular incident this person is describing was a live stream on Facebook. I have spoken with an individual who actually witnessed this live stream in real time and can confirm this incident did happen. I have the entire conversation on another video. This live stream was very odd. It was witnessed by more than one person because I have firsthand witness who's described it to me in detail. And then we have some witnesses on Reddit who further allege that they've also witnessed it and spell out what they've witnessed. So it makes multiple witnesses to this live stream. Okay. Traditional Elk 7171 1 year ago says Cheyenne is Jennifer's pseudo stepdaughter. She has a sister named Carol who has a brother named Thomas who has a mom named Jennifer Barnes Dean. Thomas is a pyromaniac. Is this Thomas related to Taya Miller? Cheyenne and Carol are also related to the Pinkards and have close family members that are verified friends with two specific ladies involved in the fundraising efforts for the Flora Girls. Let's read that again in case you missed it. Cheyenne and Carol are also related to the Pinkers and have close family members who are verified friends with two specific ladies involved in the fundraising efforts for the Flora Girls. Also, Jennifer is very well acquainted with the two fundraising ladies. Also, Joyce from the fundraiser is close friends with Jennifer's uncle Duane, who is her closest adult relative since her mother passed away. Question about Flora, y'all. Why did everyone lie about who was there that day? Oh, Prof, no one lied about Flora. Yeah, really? I have the documents. Okay. Specifically, the defense received certain geofencing evidence that at least 3 persons were in or around the crime scene at a time while the murders were taking place, according to the state's timeline. None of the owners of these phones, these 3, have a connection to Richard Allen. The geofencing evidence provides evidence that those persons walking with the phones are witnesses that to what would have or witnesses who would have observed the murders as they were taking place if they took place at that time and place, because those 3 persons were there. Yes, there's no getting around that fact. Now, they may have observed nothing because the murders did not take place at that time. Or those 3 persons were involved in the murders. Furthermore, a map had been produced regarding those 3 persons or those 3 phones. They were in or around the crime scene precisely at the time that this 3.5 millimeter jack was plugged into the phone and exited the area of the crime scene precisely after the time that 3.5 millimeter jack was plugged in. That'd be 5:49 p.m. Oh, we will know who those phones belong to as soon as this gag order is lifted. So, question, did they see something happen to the girls? Did they not see anything because the girls weren't there, neither were the perpetrators? Or were they part of it? What's up with it? And did one of those 3 handle the victim's phone? This is from the motion to compel and request for sanctions. The defense wanted all of Derek German's law enforcement interviews, including video, audio, and/or notes reports memorializing any law enforcement interview. If he was never interviewed, the defense wanted confirmation of that fact. The defense wanted, for the purposes of establishing a timeline, all of Kelsey German's phone dumps of all phones attributable to Kelsey German. If her phone was never collected, the defense requested confirmation of this fact. Furthermore, every law enforcement interview of Kelsey German, including audio, video, or notes reports memorializing any law enforcement interviews. If she was never interviewed, the defense would ask for confirmation of that fact. But I'm sure that her interviews were part of the 70 days of intentionally deleted interviews. That's right. 70 days of intentionally deleted interviews by law enforcement. I said it, sue me. All of Cody Patty's phone dumps. Of all phones attributable to Cody Patty, if his phone was never collected, the defense requested confirmation of that fact. Furthermore, every law enforcement interview of Cody Patty, including video, audio, and or notes reports memorializing any law enforcement interviews, if he was never interviewed, defense would ask for confirmation of that fact. But I am sure that that is also among the 70 days of intentionally deleted interviews by law enforcement. Okay. There are two images that exist, but which the state of Indiana has not turned over to the defense. Those images can be found on the interwebs. At least one of those images seemingly adopted by law enforcement as being legitimate, as it has been used by law enforcement in various media appearances, including a 2019 press conference. We are talking about the photo of Abby Williams walking on the bridge, purportedly taken at 2:07 p.m. on 2/13/17, attributable to being sent via Snapchat from Liberty German's phone. Although it's very highly fucking questionable, and it will remain highly questionable until it is produced with absolute solid evidence, with metadata, and with proof that it does not exhibit signs of photoshopping, but indeed exhibits signs of Snapchat filtering. And those things can be distinguished, and they will be distinguished. Does an original exist? Surely that could come from Snapchat. Could it not? Question. Were the two individuals who both separately allege that they are the individual who took the screenshot of that image to preserve it for posterity, do those individuals have conflicting statements? And if so, have they been deposed? Have we figured out which of those individuals actually took that screenshot? If either ever took that screenshot. Because we don't believe a single thing the state tells us. Why? Because we've been given nothing. And I'm going to comment on that shortly. Also, an image of the Monon High Bridge purportedly taken at 2:05 p.m., also attributable to being sent via Snapchat from Liberty German's phone. Related to those items, the defense would also ask the court to compel the state of Indiana for the following that so far had not been produced. Interviews or reports of Kyle Smith or anyone else that received either or both images taken on the bridge purportedly at 2:05 and 2:07, purportedly from Libby's Snapchat. But question, were those interviews deleted as well among the 70 days? Yes, I'm talking about Erica Gibson and Kyle Smith. Okay, can we spell out it any more clearly for you? Why? Because we don't believe anything in this narrative that's been told. Why? Because there's been zero transparency, zero disclosure, complete blocking of evidence, and so we wait. Including where they were taken and how they were distributed, including all reports related to data and metadata. Any analysis related to those images that has been conducted by any law enforcement agency. I wonder if defense got that. Or by any person or governmental or private entity that has worked with law enforcement. Boy, this is a great document. This motion to compel and request for sanctions is absolutely stellar. Congrats to the attorneys. Let's continue. If the state of Indiana does not believe the image of Abby walking on the bridge, which clearly looks photoshopped according to the experts in Photoshop that we have consulted with, Defense request confirmation. All reports and/or documents, including phone dumps from any phone or electronic device that was believed to possibly be a phone or electronic device of either victim used near the Monon High Bridge or in an area that was geofenced near the Monon High Bridge and was identified as a victim phone that is different from the phone found at the crime scene. You know what that means? A second phone. Do we have a second phone? Does Abby have a phone? Of course, all reports, analysis of geofencing, emails between Turco and the things, the identities of the geofencing people, the geofencing victims, blah 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 blah. You see it all here. You can screenshot it and grab it. I'm not going to read through all of it for you, but you can see it's highly indicative of other actors. Is my point in showing you this today, because these pages here indicate the potential for other actors, and that's what we're here to discuss. Matter of fact, at different times during the hearing, the state of Indiana by Prosecutor McClelland spoke the following words as it relates to the potential for third-party culpability. Quotation number 1. This is still a very ongoing investigation. Our goal is to find anyone else who was involved in this heinous crime. That is the public interest, to find anybody else involved and get justice for Abby and Libby. And you know what, McClelland? We agree with you 1,000,000,000%. Here's a particularly concerning one. Okay. We have a good reason to believe that Richard Allen is not the only person involved in this case. I should have put that in all bold, in all caps, because suddenly these gaslighting paragraphs take on a new meaning, but we know they've been ignored. Okay. That there may be other actors involved. That's why we left the tip line open. That's why we left the tip email open. Last quotation from McClelland. It puts the investigation in the best position possible to determine if anyone else was involved. It is in the best interest of the public that the investigation find anyone else involved. Well, we would agree with you, Mr. McClelland. In pertinent part, Detective Holman wrote a letter which sought the sealing of the records for many reasons, including one being that the investigation is ongoing and fluid. Please keep in mind, this is well after the arrest of Richard Allen. The exhibit created by investigator Mullen cited that the matter was still being actively investigated. Investigator Mullen went on to state that law enforcement was, quote, continuing to search and seek facts and information relating to Richard Allen and other potential suspects. This is all from defendant's supplemental submission regarding state's motion in limine, August 13, 2024. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking about 2023, 2022, 2017. We're talking about as recently as August 2024. Another anomaly that I'd like to draw your attention to regarding potential of other actors. This very concerning press release. Indiana State Police sent this bulletin on April 24, 2019. Okay. April 24, 2019. The date's there, as you can see. This is from Kim Riley and Dave Burston. And I must say, out of all the Indiana State Police, I rather like Mr. Burston. Multi-agency task force clarifies point about the Delphi murder suspect sketches. This gets pretty interesting. In the early days and months of the Delphi murders investigation, information was developed about suspect descriptions. It was initially believed the sketch that has been public over the last 2 years of a person in the age range of 40s to 50s was a person of interest in this murder investigation. Now, as the investigation has matured and past information has been reassessed, it is the belief of investigators with the multi-agency task force that the person depicted in the sketch released on April 22nd, 2019, more accurately represents the person wanted for the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. That's a young guy sketch. It's important to distinguish these points about the two sketches. And this is where it gets awfully juicy, okay? But they will tell you to this day, this is not true, okay? So when does an official bulletin, a press release from the multi-agency task force, suddenly become invalidated and not reflective of reality? Because that's where we are. But let's review. It's very clearly spelled out in bullet points, okay? First bullet point, they are not the same person. Okay, so how does that measure up against the words of Douglas Carter, Indiana State Police Superintendent, and against the assertions of Nicholas McClellan, prosecutor? The person depicted in the originally released sketch is not presently a person of interest in this investigation. Okay, first 2 points. They are not the same person. The person depicted in the originally released sketch, the older guy, is not presently a person of interest in this investigation. Really? The sketch released on April 22nd, that is the young guy sketch as it's become known, is representative of the face of the person captured in the video on Liberty German's cell phone as he was walking on the high bridge. Remember, that video has yet to be released. So for all of you new folks here in Delphi, let's remind you that you've never seen the bridge guy video, okay? You need to be aware that you have never seen the bridge guy video. What you have seen is a very heavily modified version of a few still frames from the original video that was captured on Liberty German's cell phone. Not only an interpolation, but an interpretation. So although you think you've seen Bridge Guy, you know what Bridge Guy is, you know what Liberty captured on her cell phone, I assure you, you do not know what Liberty captured on her cell phone. You have not seen what Liberty has captured on her cell phone, and therefore you cannot compare the faces of what Liberty has captured on her cell phone, because what you have seen as an enhanced recreation that was released is so highly modified that you cannot you cannot claim with certainty that you know what was captured on the phone. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The wonderful Christmas gift that you will receive is that you soon will be able to see what Liberty captured on her cell phone. And so we soon will know what the image of the individual captured on the cell phone look like? And before I go further, let me reiterate that that image was not captured out of bravery, out of heroism, out of smartness, or out of sleuthing or interest in true crime. No. I would further assert that it was not captured out of anxiety, stress, or concern. It was captured by chance. Okay? So you just hold on to your horses. There will come a day that we will get to see that image, and we will get to blow it up ourselves, and we will get to slow it down ourselves, and we will get to see what was captured by the phone. And only then can we compare this young guy image that's being discussed here in this third bullet point with what was captured on the cell phone. So let's go back to this bullet point. And with all of that in mind, let's reassess this. The sketch released on April 22nd, 2019, that's the young guy sketch, is representative of the face of the person captured in the video on Liberty German's cell phone, which we've never seen, as he was walking on the high bridge. So there you go. Hopefully that makes more sense for you. The person in the sketch released on April 22nd, 2019, the young guy sketch, is described as having a youthful appearance. That's right. But could fall in the age range from 20s to 30s. Okay. Does that seem to align with what you know of Richard Allen's face? Have you gone back and looked at his face in the years prior to his arrest? Could you honestly say that he could be described as having a youthful appearance as someone in the age range of his 20s to 30s, as bullet point number 4 asserts here? Okay. Point number 5. This person's appearance could look different today if he has grown a mustache. See, it doesn't say if he has aged 15 or 20 years. It merely states if he has grown facial hair, or if he's let his hair grow longer or cut his hair shorter. So there could be subtle changes to his appearance in the terms of any normal man growing facial hair or cutting hair. Still does not align with the age range or appearance of Richard Allen. Okay, so that's some points for you to consider regarding the 2019 Multi-Agency Task Force Bulletin, which has been contradicted in the years leading up to the arrest of Richard Allen and since his arrest. Okay. Now, let's continue. Next up, the defense here is discussing the Anthony Schatz account and says, in the days leading up to February 13th, 2017, the Anthony Schatz account was active and in contact and communication with one or more of these victims. Okay. The content of these messages is unknown. Isn't that something else? Why did Kelsey delete that stuff? And what was the content of Kelsey's discussion with the Anthony_Schatz account? And what else was deleted by Kelsey? He further testified that Keegan Kline admitted to driving to Delphi, Indiana with his father, Jerry Anthony Kline, on February 13th, 2017. No, we're not kidding. We are discussing other actors. Are we not? Okay. And that Keegan Kline waited in the vehicle while Jerry Anthony Kline went to the woods in the area where Abigail Williams and Liberty German's bodies were ultimately found. Detective David Vito of the Indiana State Police testified that Keegan Kline stated that when Jerry Anthony Kline returned to the vehicle, he had blood on him, and according to a couple sources, stated, "We had fun." Roland Purdy, further testified that Keegan Kline admitted that they discarded a knife in a river when they were driving home, which should put to rest all speculation about the Wabash River search. Okay, is that clear to all of you listeners out there? All of this evidence creates an inference that Keegan Kline and Jerry Anthony Kline murdered Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Okay, further, the bodies of Abigail Williams and Liberty German were located on February 14, 2017, on the property of Ron Logan. Deputy Special Agent Nicole Robertson, former FBI, says Ron Logan lied to his whereabouts on February 13, 2017. Ron Logan's physical build is consistent with that of the individual in the video captured on Liberty's phone. Well, I don't know how we could verify that until we see it. Okay. His voice is consistent with the voice of that on the audio. Well, I don't know because we had Brian Harshman recklessly assert that Richard Allen is the voice that is consistent with the voice captured in the audio, which we now know to be also highly modified and enhanced because it was a mere unthreatening whisper, okay, which leads me to believe it's not the moment of abduction, but merely the moment of meeting someone they might have been expecting to meet. Okay. Let's continue. Now, we have some more concerning speculation we can do about other actors. This says, I'll read all of the squares. I'll just go ahead and do that for you. Okay. The presence of Allen's Ford Focus is also in dispute. Defense attorneys argued Allen told investigators he arrived on the trails at 12 p.m. and left around 1:30 p.m. According to the timeline set by investigators, the killing likely happened between 1:30 p.m. and 4 p.m., meaning Allen would have left according to his recollection. Yes, and remember that with the whole story about the tip or the meeting at the grocery store with Dan Doolin and it not being recorded or the recording being magically lost like all the other 70 days of material. Also, the handwritten notes regarding that interaction were also magically disappeared. So when it comes to the timeline asserted by Mr. Allen, we have to take entirely the state's word for it. Moving right along, though, a witness reported seeing a different vehicle, not Allen's Ford Focus, but rather a 1965 Ford Comet, which we now know to be a Mercury Comet, parked outside the CPS building around 2:15. But this detail was omitted. Yes, it was. This is why we say Tony Liggett misrepresented witness statements and omitted, intentionally concealed facts from the judge. A separate witness reported seeing a man in a tan-colored coat or hoodie or sweater, not a blue jacket. Now, question for you. Would that not be another actor? If Richard Allen was not wearing a tan-colored coat or hoodie, If Richard Allen was not walking on 300, would that person dressed in tan walking towards the home of Mr. and Mrs. Mears, would that person not be a potential other actor? Okay. And here's the documentation for some of that. At 2:15, when Betsy Blair passed the old CPS building, Betsy Blair did not see a black Ford Focus parked at the old CPS lot. The car that Betsy Blair observed as she passed the old CPS building at 2:15 looked nothing like a black Ford Focus, according to Liggett's own report. Betsy Blair observed one car parked at CPS at 2:15, and that car resembled a 1965 Ford Comet. Now that we know it's a Mercury Comet, and if you look at the footnote below, it says defense counsel recognizes that in 1965, Ford did not make a Comet, Mercury did. But those were the words of Betsy Blair, who knew what a comet looked like because her father had owned a Comet, and that was a 1965. And Betsy provided a sketch of the side profile of the car she observed, featuring the angles that the car possessed. Okay. Betsy's sketch looks nothing like the side profile of a Ford Focus. Okay. According to her, the shape had, quote, sharper angles. Okay. Liggett was fully aware of this and chose to conceal that. Was the person driving that 1965 looking Mercury Comet looking vehicle a potential other actor? The problem is that in 2017, Sarah Carbaugh told Liggett to his face that the man she observed walking west on 300 North was wearing a tan-colored coat, a lighter colored coat, not a blue jacket. So, is that another actor? Are you guys getting what I'm getting at? That even within this discovery, even within these filings, we have indications of other actors. Allen stated that he arrived at the trails around noon and left at 1:30. Liggett failed to inform Judge Diener that Allen stated he left the trails at 1:30. He should have, especially if there was evidence that a different vehicle was parked at the old CPS lot after 1:30, but before 4 p.m. Okay, which is what we're meaning when we describe Betsy Blair's description of the vehicle she witnessed. Okay, just a moment. Okay, let's continue. This is from the motion to quash from August 23rd, 2024. The state believes the depositions of Pat and Nick Westfall are unreasonable in that they are not relevant to any issues in the case. The state believes the testimony of the deponents is not relevant and is not exculpatory in any way to the defendant. The state believes the deposition of Tobe Lesenby is cumulative and oppressive in nature, even though his job is performing as a law enforcement officer, is it not? The state believes that deposition is being done in bad faith in an effort to annoy, embarrass, or oppress the deponent. Really? That is really quite an argument to be making, Mr. McClellan. State believes the defense intends to cover the same topics in an effort to harass, annoy, embarrass, or oppress Tobe Lesenby. Wow. I mean, I am really at a loss. I am dumbfounded by the actions and words of Nicholas McClellan repeatedly. It never ceases to leave me at a loss for words, the depths he will stoop to. And please remember McClelland's coincidental ties to Freemasonry. Okay. Coincidental. All right, let's continue. Because why were Pat and Nick Westfall and Lesenby going to be deposed? Well, I would say it's due to the Click, Ferenczi, and Murphy investigation, which touches back on this, okay? This was the response to the order in limine, which the state was requesting and was awarded, yes, because we know that this judge blatantly showed or exhibited bias. She handed every single request the state made right to them. She completely blocked any sort of exculpatory evidence or third-party evidence, or, as I should phrase because of the title of our show tonight, evidence of other actors. Although I think you've already seen there's been good reason to believe that there are at a minimum indications of other actors, okay, or the involvement of other actors, and potentially the involvement of other actors at the exclusion of Mr. Allen, which is why this should have been considered. At a minimum, there should have been Frank's hearing, and excluding third-party suspects should have been considered on a case-by-case basis, not in a blanket fashion as has been done. But let's look at this blanket, because this is highly concerning, especially when we're considering other actors. Odinism, cult or ritualistic killing, although at a minimum, one of the girls exhibited indications of this, and the crime scene itself exhibited indicators of this. And according to Dr. Perlmutter, the time and place exhibited indications of this. C. Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, Johnny Messer, Elvis Fields, Ned Smith, Rod Abrams. Okay, that was all of the Frank's memorandum, or the Odinist investigation, or Rushville investigation, or Click, Ferenczi, and Murphy, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Keegan Kline, Jerry Klein, Ron Logan. Any reference to the investigation conducted by Click, and remember what happened to Click. Remember what they did to Click. I am confident that a hit was put out on Click, and not a hit on his life, but a hit on his career. Remember, it's after the March 18th hearing, 2 weeks go by, and already an investigation has been opened up into him. And it's my sincere belief that what happened is he was targeted because of that March 18th hearing. A team was sent out to go and question all of his former clients in order to try to dig up or piece together some sort of malpractice type of allegations on Mr. Click. It was successful. I believe they also were able to convince one of those accusers to make the accusation. So I think not only did they dig up dirt for things he had, errors he had honestly made, I think they found one of the witnesses to make false allegations, and that's the particular one that exhibits the most accusing of wrongdoing on the part of Mr. Click, which led to the arrest of Mr. Click, which seems to me to be retribution for his testimony at the March 18th hearing. But I'm sure in the future that may be looked into, hopefully. Okay, because lawfare is not good. Warfare is not good. Lawfare is not good. And we are a nation who is, we have an epidemic of lawfare. Any reference to geofencing and or testimony from Kevin Horan about geofencing or the findings from the geofence search. You see what the facts, keeping facts out. Any reference to prior bad acts of any of the witnesses. Any reference to how the files were labeled that were handed over because they knew that that was a wrong. Let's be clear. What's being excluded here are wrongs. The way that Mullen handed over discovery was combative. It was an attempt to obstruct justice. If you're confused about that, wait until you can hear for yourself from the defense how they received or how the discovery was pieced together among the multiple drives that they received, how that stuff was unlabeled, mislabeled, scattered as if confetti was thrown up in the air, and what landed, good luck with it. And to me, that was criminal because you know that that's not the way that the state of Indiana had that evidence. It was an attempt to obstruct justice and make the defense of Richard Allen a near impossible task due to the large amount or the large volume of data and the complete disorganized fashion that it was handed over. But you know, this particular individual seems to have a problem with technology because remember, he's also the one who deleted 70 days worth of interviews. Any reference to any PowerPoints provided by the state as executive briefs involving any person or persons that were investigated? Okay. So you see, law enforcement product. Law enforcement product excluded. You get where this is going? Obstruction of justice. Okay, so let's continue to look. There's more. I would like you to see this. This next is Douglas Carter. This is from Chapter 6, A Walk in the Woods of Down the Hill podcast. I have used the transcript because I don't want to get some sort of upsetness going about using their audio. But in the transcript, Douglas Carter says, well, the question is asked of Douglas Carter, with so many people looking for them that first night, why weren't they found? Douglas Carter, I think I'll leave that question unanswered. Wow. That's rich, Doug. That's rich. Other actors. Remember, I have asserted that the searchers are the criminals. I've asserted that it is absolutely impossible that you would have missed those two girls where they were because you had several hours of daylight before the nightfall. You had the entire night during which multiple searchers with flashlights were searching the very area they were found. Then you had the entire next day from sunrise till noon. And you want us to believe that those girls were not found. Douglas Carter's answer is, I think I'll leave that question unanswered. I think you will, Doug. Because to answer that question, you would probably have to implicate that there are other actors. Multiple actors is what I mean to say. Now we're going to go to Tobe Leazenby from the same podcast. Says the interviewer, back in April, you mentioned perhaps a smudged fingerprint. Is that a piece of evidence? There were some fingerprints collected, yeah. So, I mean, but again, practically every crime scene has got fingerprints for the most part, unless they're wearing gloves or something. Do you know if those fingerprints belong to the killer? That I do not know. And same with DNA. You have DNA. Do you have his DNA? Yeah, we don't know. We haven't. No one's charged. No one's jailed yet. In other words, you had evidence in the form of fingerprints and DNA that you won't answer for that seems to both have been sabotaged from within law enforcement, in my opinion. DNA and fingerprints. Question for you, Tobe Leslie. Where are Richard Allen's fingerprints at that crime scene? Where was Richard Allen's DNA at that crime scene? If you have fingerprints and DNA. Do you new viewers understand what I'm getting at here? Do you? Do you really? Or do you just want to come in here with a preconceived notion of what happened to those girls and come and gaslight? He's guilty. He's a kid killer. You're protecting a kid killer. Really? Because we're discussing the obvious other actors involved? Okay, let's continue. Pardon me. My throat's getting a little on the dry side here. Now listen, I'm showing you this page so you know the document, but we're going to skip ahead. This is motion for court to certify court orders for interlocutory appeal pursuant to Appellate Rule 14 and request to rule expeditiously on said motion filed September 9, 2024. You get it? Okay, we're going to skip ahead a few pages because you don't need to hear all this. And we're going to this. September 4, 2024, order denies Richard Allen the ability to present a defense violating both state and federal constitutions. Okay. Now, on September 18, 2023, the defense filed its first Franks, at which time the defense revealed in great detail its defense that Odinism, Norse paganism, which I would redefine for the defense, since they seem to be idiots regarding this particular angle. Let's call it what it is: neo-Nazi white supremacist freaks explain the unusual nature of the crime scene and would also explain the other actors or the perpetrators, because yes, they are neo-Nazi white supremacist freaks who happen to be gang members and drug smugglers. Let's not call them by the cover story of Odinist Norse pagans. It's not what they are. You got it wrong. Okay, let's forward it over here to it's talking about all the people in the Franks, blah blah blah. You know where that lives. But here we're going to number 13. In its April 29, 2024 motion in limine, paragraph 7.1 and 7J, or 7I and 7J, prosecution requested the court to prevent the defense from presenting evidence that third-party suspects Keegan Kline and Tony Kline committed the murders, even though credible evidence existed that Keegan Kline had arranged to meet one of the victims on the day of the murders. Is that now clear for all of you in the back who don't understand that Keegan Kline asserted that there's a knife in the Wabash and that he had arranged to meet one of the victims on the day of the murders, at that time, at that place? Keegan Kline implicated his father, Tony Kline, as being involved in the murders. Law enforcement tried to tie Richard Allen to Tony Kline. Do you understand that that was attempted? Okay. Do you understand that law enforcement tried, look at C, okay? Let me remove the comment. Look at C. Tried to tie Richard Allen to Tony Kline and arguably only interrogated Richard Allen because of law enforcement's initial belief that Tony Kline and Richard Allen knew each other and committed crimes together. Law enforcement officials discovered a cache of child pornography on Keegan Kline's personal cell phone during the course of their investigation. And E, law enforcement officials actually transported Keegan Kline to an area near the crime scene to corroborate his version of what he and his father, Tony, did near the crime scene on that day in question. Furthermore, in its April 29, 2024, motion to eliminate paragraph 7K, the prosecution requested that the court prevent the defense from presenting evidence of third-party suspect Ron Logan, even though credible evidence existed that the bodies were found on Ron Logan's property. An FBI-authorized PCA stated Ron Logan placed a phone call in or around his property around 2:09. Ron Logan provided false information about his activities during the times the crimes were committed and employed others to assist in deceiving law enforcement, and furthermore plotted an alibi for the crime that had not yet been discovered. A court found that said probable cause affidavit provided probable cause that the evidence of the murders would be found on Logan's property, but none was. Furthermore, in its April 29, 2024 motion to eliminate, the prosecution requested the court prevent the defense from presenting new evidence from law enforcement officer Todd Click, who investigated the neo-Nazi white supremacist freak ties to the murders. Okay, so what are we saying here? All indicative of other actors. Other actors. So where are we with this lone wolf killer who has zero DNA at the crime scene, zero fingerprints at the crime scene, zero evidence of the girls at all on him, in his car, at his home, on his weapons? You understand why people are a bit upset about this? Just a moment. Okay, and the last one. Last one here for you guys. Matt Sullivan. In 2014 and 2015, Derek German was arrested and convicted of multiple counts of manufacturing and distribution of methamphetamine. This is hardly his first offense, too. Well, after being labeled a recidivous criminal by the courts, he took a plea that saw him cooperate with the DEA, FBI, and ISP. Instead of getting 20 years, he got a mere 1,100 days. Well, our favorite little judge, he suspended the sentence of the presiding judge and commuted his 1,100-day sentence to just 1 day time served. Wowie, what a nice guy, right? Wrong. You see, Derek got his supply from Gabriel Ellis, who has ties to the Sinaloa drug cartel out of Chicago. Ellis is a bad man with bad intentions. a child predator, and a violent felon, one who has at least 10 previous criminal charges throughout the years, all drug, sexual violence, and child predator related. But get this, Fouts ensured that he was never locked up. So he would get a few months here and there for charges that should see him locked up for years. Keep in mind that Fouts jailed 80 fucking year old Ron Logan for 4 years after the Delphi murders for a driving offense. A driving offense. An 80-year-old man. I think it was to shut him up. I really do. This is why I give Ron Logan a pass. Of course, you see what I'm getting at. Anyways, Ellis, in my opinion, sought revenge with Derek through his daughter. This is why Libby was desecrated like that. And she was desecrated. And if you don't understand that, it's on you to go and seek out those crime scene photos and look at them yourself. You need to see those crime scene photos. You need to see what they did to those girls, and in particularly how they left Libby. And I'm telling you, for Carrie and for Anna, you need to go and see those photos for yourself and see what they did to those girls and see how they left Libby. You owe it to yourself and to those girls. That's why Libby is desecrated like that. Only months earlier, another girl, Karina McClurkin, an 18-year-old from Kokomo, went missing, last seen near this piece of fucking trash. Keep in mind, his vehicle at the time, a white Pontiac Grand Am, was likely the one also described by investigators as being parked at the former CPS lot near the trails on February 13th, 2017. It's our job to point the finger at fucking Carroll County and the investigators who have done nothing but work to protect themselves by stalling closure for the families and the public, and now by railroading Richard Allen for the Patties and for Liggett. So, I'm not happy to report this or to say it. Fucking someone has to. Who is everyone afraid of in Carroll County? Is it the neo-Nazi, white supremacists, meth dealing, baby killing, mama daddy burning, white supremacist freaks? Why would the Patty family be okay with that? Why would the family have a bunch of freaks running around the internet harassing, threatening, terrorizing people who just want justice for these girls and the truth about what's happened to everybody who's dead in Carroll County? Did a CI kill these girls, or a couple CIs? Or was it a CI involved situation, law enforcement situation, in which these girls got tied into, in which they all ended up dead? And how many have ended up dead since? Anyway, I feel like that's the show for today because it truly is upsetting. I think my blood pressure is at an all-time high. Um, Delphi, other actors. And what I mean by that is not Richard Allen and other actors. I mean other actors. So, crime scene photos are on Twitter. That's your easiest place, and there's a couple websites. But I'm not going to be the idiot that attracts all the negative attention by posting the link here for you. So you just got to go do some homework. Because if I post it, they'll try to have me fucking reprimanded in some way. But it's doable. Okay, it's doable. Anyway, I'm sorry that it's a fucking frustrating thing. I'm left speechless. I'm left speechless. And I think all of you are probably likewise. Okay? It leaves you speechless. But like I said, you go and you see what they did to those girls and how they left them out in those woods. It hits different. It hits different. It's not an imaginary scenario. It's real. And really, the way they left Libby is extremely alarming and concerning. Seems like a message, but who knows? I'm not projecting anything. I'm not assuming anything. I don't know. But speaks for itself. Anyway, I guess I like to dedicate this show to Carrie Timmons because I like her. I've always liked her. And I often say, I use her quotes. I often say that, she, at one point in the early years, she did say that she thought there were some guys cooking drugs out in the woods that day, that very day. And maybe the girls walked into it and someone took care of them. Stuff like that. But I don't think Derek had anything to do with it. So yeah, I like to dedicate it to Carrie because I often don't mention her in that way. I just quote her, but today I'd like to dedicate it to her and say, Carrie, we feel for you, we love you, and I hope that you're brave and you're strong, and that you get justice for your daughter because I don't think you have, and I believe you were treated wrongly all these years and probably still are. None of us are perfect. But the love of a mother is a love like no other. At least it should be. So, to Carrie. And anyway, I want to thank everybody who joined the chat tonight. I truly do. Your chat is amazing. And like I said, tonight wasn't so much about me reading the chat. And I assured you, though, that if you had anything to add about any of these potential other actors, I'm sure there are people who will be reading the chat who might take some nuggets from you. So same goes for the replay. If you're on the replay and you have something to add, please leave a comment down below because, yes, it does help the algorithm slightly. It's not even that effective, but more so, I just appreciate the community and the interaction and the kind of the love that I feel as I'm reading the chat in the next coming days as you all leave messages in the comment section on the replay, etc. So the reason I constantly beg for you to leave comments or join the chat. It's more about that. I just love the stimulating ideas you guys put across expressing yourself. Not so much with the algorithm. With the algorithm, I'd like you to just hit the like and watch it. And if you want to support the channel, just please, please, please do support the channel. The Cash App is my preferred way to support, because when you send a Cash App, I get it right away. And they take the absolute tiniest itsy bitsy percentage. I don't even know if it's 0.2%. I don't know what they take with Cash App, but it's a tiny little sliver. When you send the super chats and whatnot, they take a big old about 25% or something of it. So with that being said, please support the channel. And I just appreciate you being here. And hopefully the next show will be a little more positive spirited. Okay, because I didn't anticipate on getting a little upset, but by the end of this, yeah, I'm a little frustrated by the end of this, because it's just unbelievable what we've witnessed. I mean, we truly have witnessed a defendant not not only have we had a complete wall of secrecy around this case and lack of transparency so that we don't know anything, but we've seen a defendant be obstructed from presenting a defense. And if the defendant cannot present a defense and evidence, I mean, what in the kind of world are we living in? It's an illusion that we have a system of justice. So by the end of this, yes, it's frustrating to see. This defendant should have been allowed a defense, and maybe through the defense, we would have discovered some truth about Delphi. But I don't feel that we have it, and I know that we argue. Okay, we argue. I've argued with Mr. Osbrook. Okay, recently, but it's not because I know what things are. It's because I don't know, and that's the frustration. The lack of transparency with this case is absolutely mind-boggling. How are we 7-8 years into this case and we know nothing? How is it that way? Why is it that way? Anyway, let me put a few chats up as we close out, and I do appreciate you all. So this will never sit well, and people are not going to let it go. No, and neither are we. Okay. I feel like everyone here really wants to know what happened. That is justice. Like I've said so many times, justice is not bloodlust. Justice is not finding Richard Allen before an election in order to bury him or bury the case. No, that's not justice. Justice is the actual truth about what happened to those girls coming to the surface. That's true justice, no matter what that truth is. Okay. Thank you. You are appreciated, Miss Christine. This was so important to show this information. Prof, many don't have a clue. Thank you, 5 Green Acres. You had such a good show tonight, which hits us all, how these actors are involved in this horrible case. This chat was eye-opening, and your dedication to this case, we're all with you. Thank you, Jenny. Really appreciate those kind words. Yeah, remember, we started off hours ago with Garrett Kurtz and Chris Mathis. Yes, it's enraging. That's what I'm saying. I got my blood pressure up. It's enraging. Yes, please don't forget to hit the like on the way out, please. Okay. Mino Dino chat is awesome here. Yes, my little channel has the most amazing chat, if I do say so myself. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Corner Piece. Okay. If you're a local or if you're just interested in privacy, please change your username to something else that's not your legal name. I expected the trial to answer questions. Instead, it left me with many more questions. Yes, exactly. That's why I was frustrated. I must say, I was frustrated with the decision to rest that the defense made, to rest early. I was frustrated with that because I wanted more answers, but they did what they did for their client, not for me. So that's what it is. Thank you, Post Punk Mama. Money makes the world go round. Okay, thank you, Amber Hamilton. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you guys for everything. Easy E, what's up? Thank you from Birmingham, Alabama. Thank you. Okay. I listened to Alex and Adrian's live just before yours. My brain is so overloaded. I have started notes, paid attention to this case, but much deeper since the rest of Richard Allen. Players' layers of mind blowing. Yes, there's a total concerted and organized PR campaign. I call it the troll farm. It's a whole other subject. They've been controlling this case since day one. Listen, all the Reddit moderators, the Facebook group moderators, that this thing has been gate kept to an unbelievable degree. It's one of the rare cases where the community is under a total terrorization program. The gatekeeping of information, the interjecting of disinformation. This case is like no other, but there are some others sprinkled here and there in the world, but they're not many. This case is the minority. Okay. Zero Rick's DNA. Family lied in the courtroom. Everything's enhanced, edited, planted, lost. Many lives lost along the way. Maybe the most corrupted case. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. This case. I've been at this for years. I learned something new every single life. Thank you, Fur Baby Daddy. And you're a long timer, man. You go back with me to first days. Awesome show. If it was like a week early, it would have saved me 100 hours of watching YouTube on 2x speed. All right. Thank you all so much. So those are really nice comments. Appreciate all of that. Reddit is a psyop. Reddit has some good public discussion, but the gatekeeping and the control of the narrative on all social media is just absolutely mind-boggling. Why would it be so? In the double murders of 2 little girls. Think about it. It's 2 little girls. Why would there be this sort of stranglehold on the information? Okay. I'm proud of you, Kayla. I got banned from 2 Reddits in 1 week. Thankfully, Richard is innocent, allowed me back a day or 2 later. All right, y'all, I'm out. Thanks, everybody. Love you guys. Pray for me, Little Prof, and for the families, and for Abby and Libby, okay? And each other. We love you. God bless. Bye.